We can't hear you, Carlos.
Oh, am I on mute? Can you hear me now?
There you go.
All right, perfect. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I hope you guys are having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How are you this morning, my friend?
Well, Carlos, I'm pretty excited. You know, this is the last day I'm going to be with you guys here today. John is going to be sitting in for me tomorrow as my daughter is doing her PhD thesis defense. And I didn't realize they do these. Do you know these things are they're public? Like anybody can attend if you're doing a PhD defense.
I did not know that. No.
I didn't know it either. So there's a website and everything to go to. I'm going to be on a Zoom call joining this. I mean, it's usually not. It's not like it attracts big crowds. But if anybody's interested in understanding the in vitro investigations of conventional and robotic-assisted total knee arthroplasty, then have I got a meeting for you? Anyways, that's what.
Yeah, that's something, all right.
Yeah. So, I barely understand what I just said, and I am just very happy that my brainiac daughter is going to she's done this research for years, knows what she's talking about. I just can't wait to call her Dr. Donnelly. That's all I'm looking forward to.
That's very a beautiful thing, man. My brother's doing his now, and I just don't know how people have the brain power. I see him going through this stuff. I'm sure you see your daughter going through stuff. It's like, what, when, how? It is beyond me. I don't know how they do it.
It's awesome. It's awesome
so
stuff.
Shout out
but
to
that's
them.
What fuels this market too. We need smart people creating new stuff and driving innovation. That's what gives us
absolutely.
Let's talk stocks and economic data. Look, a lot of stuff happening today, sort of. Right? There was supposed to be a lot of data today. U.S. retail sales, the producer price index information, the jobless claims, both initial and continuing. None of that data is available because, well, the government strike continues. So none of that's coming out. Usually that would be pretty, the market would react to that and we'd see a lot of good data. The only thing that we will get at 8:30, or right now, in fact, I should check and see if it's out, should be the Philadelphia, the Philly Fed Manufacturing Index, which did come out. Oh, and it came out significantly negative compared to expectations. It came out at negative 12.8 versus an expected 8.6 number. So that's a lot less optimistic. That's data for October, by the way. And then at 10 a.m. we have the business inventories for August. So that's a little bit more in arrears that's coming out. Other than that, we are there's a ton of Fed speakers out there today who are speaking at various different events and conferences. So it looks like, again, sometimes the Fed, it feels like they all sort of go out en masse and decide to influence the Wall Street, pundits, I guess. But we had like a Fed speaker at 8. We've got more at 9 and 10, and then 10:45, 12:45, 4 o'clock, 4:30. Oh my goodness, they're out all day. So really the focus, though, is going to be on earnings, I think, because frankly, we don't have economic data on which to understand the markets. But you know what, Carlos? It's amazing to me. The markets don't really seem to care, right? We keep getting decent movement. And it's not like, the market's collapsing. That being said, we have seen a little bit of weakness, perhaps, right? A little bit more market uncertainty creep in there. But, hey, earnings continues. Companies still get to report. But, hey, we're still hanging out at all-time highs areas. I mean, not exactly at the high, but close. So anyways, let's take a look at the earnings and what's on our gappers list, and we'll let you know the stuff that what do you want to focus on today to trade? Where's Carlos? Is he gone? Is it just me? Do I need
All
to
right.
continue? Oh, there
No,
he is.
I'm back. I'm back.
Okay.
All right, here we go. It is Thursday. Happy Thursday. It was garbage day. I had to run out there and make sure the garbage is out before the truck
Holy
comes.
garbage.
Garbage day. Okay.
That's what people were talking about. I missed that. I saw people talking about taking out the garbage.
Yeah, gotta take out the garbage. Let's see if we could take out the garbage out of this list here, my friends.
I didn't see your post. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Gap up and gap down for tradingterminal.com, friends. Let's take a look here. What's happening? Again, we're probably going to be heavy on semis and a lot of tech stuff like we have seen. But I see some weird names here back on this list again. So let's dive into and see what we can find here. First one is going to be PRAX. If I can type. PRAX. Oh, wow. This is nice. Jeez, up 181%. Ooh, that's interesting, yeah. Peter. So huge gap up this morning. Tons of volume, 3.1 million shares traded. What's your thoughts on it, Peter? Wow, what's the float? 19 million. This is awesome.
19.8 million. This is actually a potential. I don't like the low floats. However, they have announced very positive top-line results for a phase 3 study. Now, this is good. Like normally we talk phase 1, phase 2 studies. Phase 3 study basically means they're just about ready to go live with this thing, right? And they're expecting to be able to release the drug itself in 2026, which is coming up. So yeah, phase 3 trial is always very good news. And this has got a whole bunch of more words that this is their essential 3 program of, oh my God, ulixacaltamide. I probably said that totally wrong, but ulixacaltamide and essential tremor. What the heck does that even mean? I have no idea. What did I just say? Anyways, yeah. Whatever. Here, you guys can read it for yourself. But whatever it is, look, it's trading well. It's got some good volume. I sort of like this more than I normally would on these biotechs. We'll have to see if it can keep the volume, Carlos. So we've got 3 million shares traded so far. And like you said, it's up 180%. So that's good. We need the volume continue, or this will just end up being another one of those, it goes up significantly, and then once the market opens, right? It either just drops a little bit or goes dead flat. So it is shortable in case you really want to go crazy, although I don't see that many shares. My broker only has 150,000 shares available for me to short. Yeah, maybe we should keep an eye on it just to see what it does.
Yep, absolutely. I am going to add it here to our popcorn list, like you guys know, PRAX. So again, be very, very careful. For me and Peter, it might just be more entertainment than anything. But it'll be fun to watch. And who knows? Maybe we'll dabble in it. The question in chat today is the coffee refilled? Yes, it is. You can't see it, but coffee is on deck right there, my friends. So we are good to go. Energy is flowing. Not that I need it, but it's there. It's Earth's gives to us, nature's gives to us, right? Coffee, beans.
Got to keep caffeinated. All right.
Exactly. All right, let's take a look, friends. What else do we have here? Going back to our gappers list. Yeah.
It said, pre-RAX might be an opportunity. I am looking for a fallen angel type trade. I'd love to have one today that I could use as an example in tonight's webinar. By the way, if anybody that is interested, we're doing a free webinar on tradingterminal.com in the Academy that you can attend. I think we had a link just posted a minute ago up there. 7 o'clock tonight, so that's 3 hours after the market close. You should be able to join me free in Trading Terminal to talk about that. I'm going to run through what is the fallen angel type strategy, how does it work, and I'll give you all the sort of setup conditions. It should be pretty quick. We're going to go over it fairly quickly so you get a high level, and hopefully you'll join me tonight.
Let me show you guys where that is. Again, if you go to tradingterminal.com, you click over here where it says webinars, and you can see the sign up sheet. But I am also going to copy this link and send it to you guys here on YouTube. And I'm not in the website, in the chat room yet, but I will send in the chat in just a second. So yeah, go in there, click join in 10 hours. You'll see Peter live here. All right. Let's continue, friends. We have our gappers list. What else is on here? Brought to you by Trading Terminal as well. So go back to the screen. There it is. Next, AQMS. I saw this yesterday. This thing was up like $34. Then it dropped down, and today's back up to what, $17. So it's just been pretty messy. Float on this thing is less than a million shares traded so far. I'm sorry, less than a million shares float. 1.3 million shares traded so far. So here's the daily. You can see the madness up to about 40, back down to about 11, just above 10, back up to 17. So again, it is just all over the place. Be very careful. I'm not sure how tradable this is. I won't be watching it on my end. Peter?
Yeah, this is a company called Aqua Metals. I've never seen them. I sort of like the name, although I do find it confusing. Is that a thing? That feels, I mean, like aqua metals, water metals.
Water
Anyways,
metals.
however, they're listed officially as a waste management company, but essentially what they're doing is it looks like they're recycling lithium from batteries. So they've got a pilot project to try to recycle lithium and to recycle lead. So I guess they liquefy it, right? So the aqua metals to for the recycling process. They raised, the only news I see on it, Carlos, is they raised about $13 million for to help drive their growth and to fund further research and development. I mean, this is a company with a $25 million market cap. We've only got 1.5 million shares. Sort of surprised it managed to make our sheet here today, but yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, the sort of the pre-market price action doesn't look that bad. It's not. It is hard to borrow, so it's not shortable. But yeah, it feels like a third day play too. If you look at that daily, it had a big day like on Tuesday. It looks like yesterday it sold off. Today it's bouncing back a little bit. Whatever actually caused the initial pop, we're a little behind on the news on this one. So yeah, I don't think I'll be doing anything with it.
Yeah, careful on this today, friends. We'll leave that one alone. Peter, is your webinar recorded? I know it's free for everyone now. Does it like get recorded and then go on like trainterminal.com or something? Like if people can't see it because
Yes.
they're in Europe, is that the case?
Yes, it
Okay.
will be recorded because it's part of our strategy series. So yeah, we'll have a recording of it available.
Mm-hmm. All right, there you go, friends. So the recording will be available if you're not able to catch it live. But again, highly encourage you to be there live and give Peter a hard time and ask him a lot of questions. All right, just kidding. All right,
Absolutely.
Peter will welcome any of that, of course. All right, let's continue here. So CRML is next. We saw these yesterday. These are the metals, right? The metals which are heavily in play, rare metals. We have CRML. We have I forget the other ones. I mean, so many of them. But UAME, UUUU. I mean, they're all here today. They're swinging the other way this time. Have you found any opportunities, Peter, like in looking throughout the day on these intraday trading decently at all, or it's just one of those things like, yeah, they're in play, but they're just not providing me any opportunity?
I have to say it's not that there has not been opportunities. I mean, just look at the CRML that you've got here. I mean, that's not a bad short opportunity, right? I mean, Carlos is sort of one of your favorite strategies. I mean, as you look
Yeah,
at
actually looks
sort of
good. Yeah.
test the bottom of the VWAP, if you're willing to go short, yesterday was a good day for that. Other days they've been good long. That chart is not on its own. If you look at MP, it also potentially gave an opportunity. UAMY also, gave an opportunity. So, yes, they've been there. I have not traded them. Largely, I think because my favorites have also been giving opportunities, right? So, Tesla, Nvidia, and AMD was all I needed to pay attention to yesterday, and there was more than enough trading opportunity in those three alone for me to get excited about. So,
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see. Um, I might want to watch CRML today. They're leading the way. They're up 15% here, 4.9 million shares traded. It is hard to borrow though, so I don't like that. But this one
now,
seems like the pre-market looks interesting on this one.
yeah, now they did announce some investment, which is interesting because they've announced what is so-called PIPE investment, private investment in public equity. Um, what's interesting about that is that it isn't directly dilutive to the shares on the market. So basically, they get capital to drive their operations, but it doesn't dilute the value of the shares. Now, it does take shares, but it's not a new issuance of shares. It basically they're taking shares out of the company coffers. So again, it doesn't increase the total number available. They just change hands for a fee. So, anyways, good news. Look, we're seeing so much movement on these things that, yeah, it's Carlos. I think it's worth paying attention to them just in
Yeah.
case, because you never know which day you're going to get that opportunity that you just love and you want to jump on. CRML seems to be more of the conversation, whereas previously we were talking about LAC and USAR and something like that. But the last couple of days, I have liked the look of CRML. So.
Yeah, that's gonna be my favorite. The one thing I don't like on it is that you can't short it. So that's a bummer. So it makes me want to look at something else as well, maybe an MP, but we'll see. I have it on my secondary list for now, just because of that, because you just can't short it. But we'll keep a close eye on CRML. All right, let's continue here, friends. Gap up list by tradingterminal.com. And we have MVST is next. MVST. MVST, what do we have here? So MVST, we are up 10%, 1 million shares traded, but the pre-market action does not show like it's traded 1 million, right? Shares, right? It looks pretty dull at the moment. And all this might add up to it, but it doesn't seem that way at all. And the daily, again, it's been in play all October, looks like. Started to get going here. Increase in volume, obviously. And the last, this week has done very well as far as moving higher and being able to break some of the levels of resistance. So definitely got something going here, Peter. Float on this one, not a low one. It's 194 million shares float. Microvast Holding is the name of the ticker.
Microvast. I mean, I love company names. They choose to go with the oxymoron type thing or anyways. So the big little, the tiny shrimp or the giant shrimp or anyways. So Microvast, the little big company. This is another lithium ion battery solution company. So it seems like there's a lot of companies developing lithium ion battery technologies. These guys proudly proclaim themselves to be an American company that is vertically integrated to maintain absolute, this is their website I'm reading, they want to maintain absolute control of every aspect of our development process from R&D to manufacturing. Hey, there's some strong language going on there. All right, I like it. Anyways, Microvast, yeah, why are they in the news today? They basically, I believe this is just a sort of a reaction to the export control restrictions on rare earth minerals that we're seeing coming out of China. I mean, not only has the tariffs that the President Trump's administration are putting on China. But China's, they're retaliating as you would expect by saying, "Oh, well, we'll put tariffs on your stuff, and we don't want to sell you our stuff anyway." So they've done that basically by putting export restrictions on their own goods. So it feels a little bit, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's how international trade relations work. But sometimes when you run into it, it's like, fine, I didn't want to play with you anyway.
Yeah. There you go. I won't be having this on my list. I think there'll be better things to look at, especially with semis. I mean, semis are not like heavy on this list as far as the high percentages gapping up. But again, if you look at AMD yesterday, I mean, what a mover. That's gonna be on my list today. In fact, I'm just talking about it. Let's look at it now, Peter. I mean, what a day this thing had. Just a massive run, almost an entire day, right? So we look at here on our intraday action. Here's AMD. I mean, just unbelievable. All the way to two. End of the day at 240. Well, just a little bit after hours, did get that 240 plus there. So just incredible. And today we're slightly down, but again, this is a very strong ticker. And even if we're going to have a sell-off type day, I mean, I want to be part of this. This is AMD is definitely front and center today. So I'm adding that to the list, Peter. And given the way this list is going with the few top tickers, give me a take on AMD, of course, and then tell me anything else that you want to watch off this list. Obviously, TSM with earnings and all this other stuff. Let's get into those.
Yeah, so yesterday, if you remember the news, it was Oracle had said they were going to buy 50,000 of their top-end processors to help drive some of their next generation AI supercluster. I love these terms, man. So that was good news. And again, the little friendly, pass the ball around the circle thing continues, it feels like, in the tech space, right? Oracle invests in a company, that company buys chips, that chip says that they're investing in somewhere else, and on and on we go around the circle. So, yesterday we were talking about OpenAI, who's been in the news making deals with all sorts of companies. Yesterday it was with Walmart. So, and that that's, it continues to be good for the sector. It means more chips. It means more AI. It means more investment. Again, where does this all pay off? Don't worry about that, right? Let's not worry our pretty little heads about whether this is actually going to pay dividends for these companies. Let's just ride the wave of companies going higher on the hopes that AI is going to fuel their future prospects. So, anyways, um, so I loved AMD yesterday. It was a great trading stock. As you mentioned, Carlos, TSM is one of the few that had earnings this morning that I was keeping an eye on. And this is one of our, good friends. Now, this company is in the hot seat, right? Because this is Taiwan Semiconductor, and they do a significant amount of the global manufacturing of chips, right? They're not really sort of an R&D shop. They are a manufacturer, but they're a manufacturer of most of the high-end chips the planet is receiving. And as we know, Taiwan as a region is under threat. So who knows what's going to happen? But in the short term, prospects are good for them. They delivered $33.1 billion worth of revenue in the quarter versus a $31.6 billion estimate. And earnings, bottom line earnings, well, they're still making more money. $2.92 of earnings per share versus a 259 estimate. So, life is looking good. It seems that no matter what the macroeconomic, situation is, so far, Taiwan Semiconductor continues to reap benefits because, they're the ones that everybody from AMD to NVIDIA to Intel to even the Chinese manufacturers turn to largely, especially if you need specialized or high-end chips, right? Because they just have that infrastructure, which is very expensive and very difficult to put in place. So now, from a trading perspective, TSM, like I'd love for this thing to trade well. You look at the daily chart, it looks great. This thing has been, it's
Yeah,
just
it
been
does.
going up pretty much all year. I mean, it had a little bit of dip at the beginning of the year for the first couple of months, but ever since mid-March or early March, this thing has just been on a tear, rising from 130 bucks to over 300 where it sits this morning.
Mm.
But along the way, it's been tough to trade. It's not
It doesn't
really a
get
great
volume too, Peter, right? The
no.
volume is so light, man.
It's
And that's an
relatively
issue.
light. And even when it happens, Carlos, like you can see some of these days where you get these gapping days and then nothing happens during the day. It just sort of gaps and then just sits there. So, and you can see this happen back in, yeah, exactly, right there in September and again earlier on and like every time. So I'm afraid that what's going to happen today is exactly one of those types of candles, right? It popped up this morning. We're gapping up. Now it's only 2%, but that's relatively good for this type of stock. It's up $7 from the close yesterday. But we might just sit here within a couple of dollar range and do nothing. So I still would go back to AMD and Nvidia, despite the fact that it's
I
TSM
know.
that's the only
Yep.
semiconductor that's got earnings this morning. I don't anticipate being a great trader, unfortunately.
Yeah, 100% with you, man. I'll put it on the secondary list just to give it the respect that is that it earns today on earnings, right? Pushing everybody else up. We respect you, but we're not gonna trade you. It's just that's the way it goes. I'd rather trade actually MU. MU today looks really pretty nice. Somebody in chat did mention that one. So MU could be a decent one today. But yeah, but TSM, unfortunately, it's on the secondary list. TSM, we'll add you here. And you're right. It's a semi-day today. So I have AMD, I have MU, and I have NVIDIA. Not in that order of what I like. What I like is probably going to be NVIDIA, AMD, and then MU. Again, AMD had a great day yesterday, but NVIDIA on a regular basis trades much better, right? So, but those three, we'll see what we can get out of these. So, all right, that's what else of the gap up list, Peter, do you like? I mean, it's a lot on here. What else is on deck for you?
Um, what else is on deck? Well, I see Oklo on the list. You know, that's one that we've been talking about for a while. Yesterday was not I mean, it was a down day for OKLO, but it you know, there was trading there. You had to be really careful at the open though. Like it was pretty choppy, pretty
Yeah.
ugly at the open. Um,
Did
but
you see Andrew
it
trade
was
this yesterday? Andrew actually traded this yesterday, and
did he?
he jumped right out. Yeah, so he took a quick trade, which actually would have ended up working out. He took a long somewhere in here,
Right.
and it actually would have ended up working out, but he got out of it for like a break even or even for a
Oh,
small
that's
win,
right. I
just
remember that. Yeah,
because
yeah.
how difficult it is to manage this stock, right?
Hmm.
The price action is
Hmm.
so bad on it. I traded once, I think it was last year, the year, sorry, last week or the week before, and it's just a difficult stock, man. With the spread being at 70 cents sometimes, back to 10, back to 20, it's very difficult to manage your risk on it. So, yeah, it's a stock that's been high flying, but it has not been easy to intraday trade. That's for sure. So just be careful on it. That one is on the list. I do see Snow. What is Snow doing? Oh, look at Snow, Peter. Snow is also up 4%, 418,000 shares traded. Again, another one that very similar to like TSM, these companies that you want them to trade well, but they usually don't. Not a good trading
Yeah.
ticker.
Um, they are they did have an announcement this morning. They are partnering with Palantir on an AI partnership. So no details about it that I can see yet. Um, so it's a little tough to know how good of news. Like, is this just a theoretical partnership? Is there money going in? Um, they really don't. They said they would partner to help companies modernize data for building and deploying artificial intelligence applications. So like it doesn't it sounds like they're going to go on sales calls together. It doesn't actually sound like they're putting a lot of money behind it. So yeah, I don't know that it's going to end up being a good trader. Good little pop up here this morning. It might actually just sell off, Carlos. I'm not sure that this is sustainable.
Yeah, yeah, might not be tradable here. All right. Yeah, CRM is the other one that's got news. That's up today, Peter. Right? It's up 6.1, 706. Again, another one that it just does not intraday trade very well, and it's usually because of the volume. So I know they have great news. I heard on the radio this morning, and everything's going well for them. But again, it's just they don't trade well. They don't.
Yeah, they've got they've got an interesting situation here this morning where they issued a statement saying that they are increasing their long-term guidance. They think that over the long term, they're going to be able to achieve $60 billion worth of targeted revenue by 2030. So we're looking out quite a ways. So markets tend to like that. However, in one of the analysts that follows them closely, the Vulcan Value Partners, issued a letter that said that they think that their short-term guidance is a little bit overstated and that they're going to have trouble hitting their targets. So there's sort of a mixed picture here on CRM. So like you said, it is gapping up. The official statement from the company is positive. The unofficial statement from the analyst is not so positive. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with this thing at the open. Feels a little uncertain. Volume's too low to really judge, right? Only 700,000 shares. It is a NYSE stock, which, as always, makes it a little harder to trade. Not one of my favorite targets.
Yeah, it's not. Um, All right, let's stop here on the gap down. Let's look at what's, I'm sorry, the gap up, excuse me. Let's look at what's gapping down. Let's cover that, and then we'll get to you guys. I see some of the tickers you guys are throwing out here. I looked at some already, like we looked at MU and some other ones. But yeah, we'll look at some of the stuff you guys are mentioning here. At BAT, or ABAT, ABAT, a BAT here is American Battery Tech. All right, that makes sense. We are down 22%, 3.4 million shares traded. And look at this daily just go. It's just back to where it was trading 2 days ago, right? Maybe 3 days ago, right? It popped up here. I'm not sure on what news. Then has since then dropped pretty aggressively down to just below $7 after hitting 11 something. Peter, obviously big drop for them, but again, it's a big drop, but it's coming off just some insane volatility. So how bad is it?
Well, they informed the public. They had a disclosure that said that the $52 million Department of Energy grant that they've been using to help drive some of their innovation has been terminated. So that's not good. So basically, any unused funds are they no longer have access to. I don't know how much of the 52 million. That's probably the value of the entire grant, and they've used some and haven't used the rest. I again don't know what those relative numbers are, but yeah, that's what's bringing them down. So
Yeah.
let's see what the details here.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, there was.
Definitely. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, it was a bigger fund. It was actually 52 million that was left in the fund that they will no longer have access to. So yeah, that's problematic. So that's why they're dropping.
Yeah. All right. So there you have it, friends. How tradable this is, I'm not sure. On SSR already, you do have shares for sure, plenty. I'm not a big fan of it. So 77 million shares flow is what I'm showing.
See, this is this is one of those weird companies, isn't it? They've got $1 billion market cap. It shows that their sales are 4 million a year, and last year their income was negative 46.7 million. So they only had 4 million of sales. They lost 47 million. And so losing this contract is a pretty big deal. This might be. I noticed it's on SSR. It's likely to become unshortable at some point if the downtrend continues. If you like risky shorts, this feels like a good potential candidate. I'm surprised it's only down 23%, because it feels like this news is probably pretty big for it.
Yeah, it does. It's not even popcorn status yet on this one, so it's like I don't know what to do with it. Yeah, leave it alone.
It's probably going to trade like that. You have to sort of treat it like a popcorn stock, if that's our new term. Yep. I like it. But it's tough to know exactly what to do with it.
Yeah, we'll leave it alone for now. If you guys watch, you see something great, please let us know. All right, what else is gapping down? So let's take a look at VERI. A lot of these tickers on here are not great. We're somewhat familiar with them. I see Rigetti down here. I see some quantum action there, so we'll look at that. VERI this morning down 15%, so good drop there. 3.5 million shares traded, so tons of volume. And the daily has not done much besides yesterday. Yesterday gapped up, and now we're just giving some of those gains back into this pre-market session. So I'm not sure how this thing's going to trade. Veritone, or whatever. It's a phone company. What is this? Let's look it up.
Veritone Inc. I think this is a software company. What do they do? It's funny because so many of these companies just have a similar description. What do? They're a leading enterprise AI software application and service provider on a mission of advancing AI to empower people to be even better. Oh, make me puke. Anyways, lovely sentiment. All right, they're a software company.
They're listening to me, Peter. They're listening to me. Look, you could tell because I've been talking about coffee and getting a coffee machine, and what I'm getting everywhere, ads for coffee.
Ads for coffee. All right.
They are listening, man.
Well,
But yeah,
I don't get the coffee ads. I am not a I don't get the coffee thing, but I know I'm in the minority. So many people love their coffee. It is
yeah,
disgusting mud water. I don't understand why people like it.
yeah. We
Anyways.
love our mud water, man. We love our mud water. Now, I like it without creamer though. Like, see, the sugar. I don't understand the sugar part of it. Like it's like they're drinking milk with a splash of coffee. No, no, I'm drinking coffee. Right? It's just one ingredient is called coffee, right? And that's it. So I don't understand the fancy stuff. I've had them. They're great, but it's not a thing
The,
I'm gonna go for. You know, with the thing and the what's the creamer and then what's the thing that
well, you know
can't
what?
think of it.
When people make the fancy lattes and they like to
Yeah, yeah,
make
yeah.
like palm trees and they do
Mm-hmm.
designs or whatever they do on the top, if you actually watch them make it, again, I'm not a coffee drinker, so this is amazing to me. I thought it was a coffee drink. It's not. It's a milk drink
Yeah.
because like they literally pour like that much coffee into the bottom, and then the entire rest of the cup is all of the foamy milk that they use to make all the pretty designs. Like it's, anyways.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, it's so yeah, it's but yeah, it's nice. It's nice. We got a couple of coffee drinkers in chat.
All right.
I enjoy it.
I'll let you
All
enjoy it.
right.
You can have mine.
Um there you go. All right, let's see what else. This one, Peter, I'm not sure. It is in play. It's dropping here. Do you like it?
No, not really. I don't know what to do with it either. It's yeah, I don't like it.
All right, we'll leave that alone. And let's see here. GWH GWH down 7.8, 671. Everybody's going off in the coffee comments. I love it. GWH down 7%, 671,000 shares traded. ESS Tech, S Tech is the name of the company.
Yeah.
Man, so much stuff. Like, what is this here? Flow is 5.8, so very low flow. Be extremely careful on this one. I won't be watching this. I'm today. I said it yesterday. I'm sticking to my usual suspects. But what's going on with this one, Peter? Just in case.
I have no idea. I don't know what the news is. I mean, there was some theoretically good news. It's sort of weird. There's a company called Yorkville that owns about 5 million shares already at an average price of $3.47. And apparently they've committed to get another 1.7 million shares at a price of $7.50, which if you look at the current price, that's not a deal for them. But you think it should be good for the company. So I don't know what's going on with this thing. I don't like it. GWH. It sounds like the initials you'd use to refer to a former president of the U.S. But um, I don't know. Their website has a picture of a lot of robots doing things. So
Mm.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere near this.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Well, one that was very active yesterday is Omer. If you guys remember this one took off. Was in our popcorn list
Mm.
yesterday, but
Hmm.
all the action was in the pre-market.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
it.
it's a great example of why we call them popcorn stocks because you just never know if it's going to be an entertaining show or not. In this case, right? Basically, it's like one of those movies where all of the good things, all of the good scenes were in the trailer, and you go see the movie and you're like, you know what? I could have just watched the trailer. There really was no content. Omer was
Mm.
that type of stock yesterday. It was all in the trailer. By the time, the market opened, the fun was all over. So that's the risk you take, looking at these.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So again, not much coming off this list here. Um, Hewlett Packard, HPE, did have some news. You must have read something funny. HPE did have some news here, and they're hurting this morning, down 7.5 because the equipment is becoming too expensive for them, Peter.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of competition out there for it, right? So but yes, they had to reduce their guidance for 2026. They did announce an increase to their dividend and a $3 billion stock buyback. However, they lowered their guidance at the same time. So Yeah, and the reason why they lower their guidance, stating that their costs have escalated, and that's caused them a little difficulty in getting to their numbers.
Yeah. All right, there it is. So how tradable it is,
And
I'm not sure, but
yeah,
it's in play today.
I want to give a shout out to Justin, who's calling me out. Because on that ESS company,
Yeah.
GWH,
Yeah.
he's like, he said, Peter's providing the in-depth research. They have robots on their website, and I'm really like, that is exactly what I said. So you know what? Sometimes that's all you get from me. They've got robots on their website. So you know what?
Well,
Here,
yeah.
all
Yeah.
the news you need to know. We
That's
give
it.
you.
That's it. No, no fluff, no extra toppings,
He's not
just
wrong. So
raw.
sometimes I manage to get you a little more detail, but yeah, in that case, probably failed. So, but anyways, I appreciate the humor that people take with this stuff. So, all
You,
right,
you have to. You have to. It just tells
let's
you
keep going.
exactly, plays right into our category of being day traders and not fundamental traders, right? You want fundamental
That's
stuff,
right.
I got a place I can send you to. It's called Bloomberg.com. If you want day trade, stick with us here. That's what it is. All right. Peter, man, I'm going through this list and I'm not just
No.
feeling a lot of stuff here, man. So I got AMD, MU, and NVIDIA, and I'm just kind of happy with that. Anything on the gap down, we'll pick a few like POTR to look at, and then we'll head over to our announcements.
Well, just because it stuck out, I noticed RGTI, our good buddy Rigetti, good old Rigetti Spaghetti, is red, whereas most of the semiconductors are green this morning. I don't see any news or particular reason for that. It just seems to be it's having a bad morning. So, um, but so that caught my eye. Also on the list, I noticed on the gap down was LAC. We were talking about these rare earth metals, and most of them, pretty much all the rest of them, are gapping up. LAC is also the outlier that is gapping down about 5% this morning. So again, do those provide trading opportunities? I'm not sure, but just thought I'd point them out because they are, they're different, and different sometimes needs attention. I don't see any news, by the way, in either one of those. So, but look at that drop, Carlos. That one candle, basically, it all comes from that single candle. So anyways, the only other thing I was watching, and it's not on the gap down list, but on the gap up, just to finish out our earnings on the banks or financial institutions, maybe I should say.
Yep.
Charles Schwab, SCHW, did have earnings this morning. It was the only other one that I thought that you guys really needed to know about that was on the earnings slate for the morning. They beat their numbers both on revenue and bottom line, so a good quarter for Charles Schwab. They're not alone, by the way. Secondary banks. This is when a lot of them come in to report. We had a bunch yesterday. Today we've got the Bank of New York Mellon Corporation. We've got KeyBank. We've got M&T Bank. There's a whole bunch of them out there. U.S. Bank Corp. If none of those are ever tradable, so you can go to the earnings sheet and see them if you're really interested. But otherwise, I think we'll stick to our knitting, so to speak, and focus on the stuff like we usually watch because they're our best bets. My best bet, anyways, for moves.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Just sticking with this list here. Let's take a few here. I know POTR. I'm just gonna look at some of the stuff you guys have been mentioning. POTR is one of them. This morning it did trade decent. Yesterday had a nice drop in the middle of the day here, about 10:45 to about 1 o'clock. And today it's been starting the mornings like this, very quiet, not a whole lot of activity, not a whole lot of volume, under a million, many days. So I have not really been watching it closely. Today's there's no different. I don't see anything here that tells me, hey, you must watch this stock today, other than we know it can trade very well when it gets going. So I'm not inclined to have it on the list as one of my primary tickers, but we can always go back and look at it, right? Saw people mentioning Tesla, same thing here, pretty quiet right now, pretty flat. You do have a little bit of volume. Again, we're just this level here is becoming like like the core just keeps pulling back into 436, right? So just keeps hanging out that area, big area of support and resistance. Every time we go up, right back to it, we go down, right back to it. So it's just hanging out there. Not much to see right now, but it's another one of these tickers that I'm sure if you guys see something great, call it out to us. But I don't see anything on here at the moment. Mohammed, yeah, I get it, but it's a good one. PLTR is still one that, we're going to be looking at it today later on for sure. And so we will with Tesla, right? But right now, are they in play? They're not, but we will, trust me, we will look at them for sure. All right, let's stop here, friends. Go ahead, Peter.
Just for entertainment purposes, Carlos.
Sure.
Somebody in the chat room called out one of the top moving stocks this morning, and I need your help on this one. RYOJ. It's up 118%. Was up a lot higher a little bit earlier. How do you say that company name? Yeah, see, you're having the same problem I have. I couldn't even begin to figure out how to pronounce it.
Royo Baba. Royo Baba.
I'm
sure it sounds nice.
Idea, I have no idea how to pronounce this company because it's like it's got vowels in places and consonants in places it shouldn't have. I don't
like Royo Baba. Probably really nice.
Chinese,
like Royo Baba.
Sorry, a Japanese consulting company.
So, if it's Japanese, it's definitely not that. It's gonna be like Royo Baba. It sounds like more strong. I worked for a Chinese company for years, Peter. I worked for a Chinese company for years. 15 years almost. A Chinese company, and they're rough, man. They're the nicest people, but the language comes across very rough. It's just the way they are, and it's like, are you screaming at me? Are you mad? I can't tell if you're mad or you're happy. Like, what's going on here? So good times. All right, friends. As I get Texas for scams, everybody's trying to hire me. WDB Global Streaming wants to hire me to make $800 a day with a salary of $8,000. They put minute, but I think they meant month, MON, so they can't even spell. But this is Angela, HR executive. I should text her back at this +63
I get
number.
those all the time. You should definitely respond to that.
I should inquire.
Be on their list forever.
All right, friends, head over to bearwithtraders.com where you can see what's happening here for the next 2 weeks. And if you click on webinars, scroll down, you land on Thursday.
Yep. You will. And Thursday, we focus on our mentorship series. So here at Bearable Traders, we've got mentorship sessions starting at 11 with Lenny. Then at noon, we talk options mentorship with Jared. Both of those are in the webinar room. And then tonight in the webinar room, of course, we've got the ever popular Thor's Day mentorship session. That's at 8. Now, in between all of that, don't forget, we still have our live webinar on tradingterminal.com where I'll be talking about the fallen angel strategy, and I'll give you the overview of that. As Carlos showed you a little bit earlier, you just have to go to tradingterminal.com, go to webinars. And it's free. You can join that, and I'll walk through how I look for a fallen angel, what it looks like, how to set it up, how to identify them. It'll give you a good sort of primer on that strategy if you're interested. So that'll be at 7 o'clock tonight. So 4 things today, 11 and 12 for our elite members at Bearable Traders in the webinar room. Tonight, then also in the webinar room, we've got the 8 p.m. session, and of course the free trading terminal webinar at 7. If you want to join Bearable Traders, there you go. The fall sale is still happening. You can use any one of those offers, and hopefully you'll join and love it. I'm already loving it. People are posting their favorite memes of Thor. Thor also posted his favorite meme of a Thor, but not himself. So, but that's okay. You see there. There's the one of Thor, and there's the one that Thor posted. So there you go. A little sexy wink going on. So, all right. Anyways, whatever you do, guys, I want you to trade smart today. We still got a couple things to take care of here. Let's set some levels. I need moderators to get their lists in so I can let everybody know what they are watching. And let's get this. Keep the show going.
Absolutely. Keep it going. We will. Let's take a look at our semi-heavy list this morning, starting with AMD after a blockbuster day yesterday. Let's see what it does today, whether giving some of those earnings, some of those gains back. I mean, whatever it does, we'll be here for it. 232 is a level off the daily. Again, not a major level. Like the major levels on AMD right now is this one here. Clearly, you can see how much touches you have there. And obviously, no, not there, above right here, right where the previous day closes, right below it. This area here and this area here are the major levels that you have, right? Obviously, a lot of support and resistance there. But we'll mark the high of the pre-market just to have that there. And I believe, are we all-time highs? I think we are. I know it took a while for AMD to get going. We did.
Oh
We
yeah,
just
we're definitely at
recently,
all-time highs. Yeah.
yeah, it got the all-time high there. That's the monthly chart. So nothing else above that pre-market high for AMD. Let's head on over to our buddy that has so much good memories, man. MU. I have so many amazing memories of MU back in the days, and AMD too. But more of MU because MU we were still starting and trying to get the ball rolling here, and we traded this a lot. Not all for profits at times. 292 is the high of the day here. The high of the pre-market is going to be 199.87. 88, so we'll mark that there. Then towards the bottom, you got this big level here. Previous day close is marking that for you. You can see how many touches we have there, so that's already done. And then 196.58 is another one you want to mark down as well. Towards the bottom, highs and lows of the last two trading days doing a really good job. So this is more of a possible, but we'll see what it does. You also have TSM, just a notable mention here. TSM is in play. Normally, this stock doesn't trade very well. They had earnings. They're the reason why a lot of these tickers might be up this morning, like an NVIDIA, slightly up 1.3. So you might want to watch that one as well if you do like it. So I have it on my secondary. If anything comes good out of it, we will take advantage of it. But normally doesn't trade well. 182.68 is the high of the pre-market on NVIDIA. 181.49 is the low. And then you're surrounded by the highs and lows of the last two trading days on NVIDIA. And NVIDIA's daily, pretty interesting. Gapped up, sold off, gapped up, sold off, gapped up, sold off. And today we're gapping up. So if I was to ask my 5-year-old what you think is going to happen, he's going to sell off, but he'll be wrong because we don't know what's going to happen with this market. So just let's be aware of it. We're gapping up here again, and let's see what the market gives us as the volume comes in after the bell. So there it is, 3 tickers for me, nice and simple. I might add more as we go forward, but that's what I'm sticking with right now. Peter, what do you like, or what does the team like this morning?
Yes, indeed. All right. So the team's getting the list. Let me go bottom to top today with Paris, who just got his list in. He's going to be watching Tesla, NVIDIA, TSM, RGTI, and PLTR. Not a lot of surprises on that. Makes sense. Top of his list, Tesla as always. Gary's going to be watching Micron, AMD, Tesla, and of course the overall market. I've got Tesla, NVIDIA, AMD, PLTR, Taiwan Semiconductor, CRML, and the popcorn stock of PRAX on there just to see what it's going to do. Phil's going to be watching TSM, AMD, Tesla, and Google. Eamon looking for potential longs on AMD or NVIDIA. Brendan's got AMD, NVIDIA, and RGTI on his list, while Mike will be watching NVIDIA and Apple. I think he's the only one watching Apple today. No, I'm wrong. Thor's also watching Apple. So, all right. So, Thor and Mike both think there's something in Apple. We might want to pay a little bit more attention because I admit I totally ignored it for today. So, we'll see what's going on. I don't have Andrew's list in yet. He's a coming, I'm sure, but hasn't yet posted. So he'll let us know as soon as he can what he's going to be looking at. Probably a combination of the stuff we've already talked about. But whatever you guys pick, you know what? Be smart with it. I don't know, Carlos. I maybe it's a lack of sleep, but I'm sort of feeling that today is a little bit of a we're still in this inside day range that we set on Friday. Like we haven't got out of Friday's trading range yet. Although we have
Yeah.
been moving up in that range. Yeah. See, we're getting a little bit higher. I'm thinking that today we might have a chance to get a little bit higher, but I'm thinking we're still not going to break out.
Yeah.
I got this feeling it's going to be a fairly quiet day, especially and maybe it's just me feeling awkward because normally I've got so much economic data to tell you about on this type of day, right? With the PPI stuff and the jobs, and we don't have that because of the government shutdown. And I'm projecting onto the market a little bit, but I think the market's just going to take a breather and say, well, we don't have the data we normally do to know, how to react, so we won't do much. But
Yeah.
let's hope I'm wrong because I really do want to get some good trading opportunities in today, especially some Fallen Angel. I need some Fallen Angel trades so I can talk to everybody about them tonight. So if you see any, let me know. But yeah, let's get going here, guys. We got you might have heard
Yeah.
my alarm. We now have just under 4 minutes until the market opens, so we'll get this room going with our live traders and get Andrew going, and we're gonna stick with you here on YouTube.
Yeah. There it is. Anders logging in. All right, guys, take care. We'll see you guys later.
All right.
right, so we'll cut that there. Netvid. Actually, Netvid. Me and Peter were talking about you this morning. Yeah, we got your email, so we're gonna get back to you. We gotta go back and look to see what you want. So we saw you sent one. I think it was either late yesterday or something. But yeah, we'll get
I think
back
it
to you
was
today.
yesterday. Yeah, midday
Was it
yesterday.
yesterday?
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw it. I saw it last night as I'm sitting by the campfire. I'm looking through emails. I saw this Netvid won something and didn't get something, and we'll make sure he's taken care of. We'll make
yeah.
sure he's taken care
Okay.
of. Yeah.
Good. Yep.
All right. Excellent. Let's get ready. 1 minute. I'm with you, Peter. Peter, this market has too much, just too much news hanging over it that can tank it one way or the other. So I think it's just kind of say, let's hang out here for a little bit. And I mean, how much AI tech stuff can we move on?
Well,
How much?
well, you
So
know what? I mean, we've seen this before in many market cycles, right? I mean, heck, I was here for the whole
yeah.
telecom boom and bust, the advent of
Well,
the interweb. It's a
yeah, I
fad. It's
wasn't
not going to
around for
last.
that. I wasn't around for that. So this is
Uh,
my first like actively being aware of and what possibly could be the biggest bubble burst in the world, right? In the financial world. This AI thing, right? I saw the
right,
90s, I saw all that, but I wasn't involved like we are now, right? So we'll see.
right.
Peter, were you there during the Great Depression as well? No, that's probably Brian. Brian was there for the Great Depression, all that good stuff. Uh,
The Great
Poor
Depression.
Brian. There go Brian.
No, I didn't. I didn't live through that.
Mm.
I love it.
Those are tough times. Can you imagine, man? I mean, that's tough. Tough, tough times.
Yeah, I haven't had to boil my shoes to
You know what I'm
for
saying? Like,
dinner, so I guess that's good.
so my parents, you guys know, they're very religious. I'm religious to an extent. My father's a pastor. So really quick, short story. My mom, we grew up in church with the Bible and everything. And one of the things that the Bible talks about is persecution, that eventually his people are going to get persecuted towards the end of time. And I was telling mom when I was little, Mom, I want to die before that happens. Like I'm not running to the mountains. I want to be gone before that happens. Okay, for the apocalypse, put me to bed. And like he's telling her, Jesus knows I'm weak.
Mm.
I can't be going through that. Put me down. All right.
Well,
She always
isn't
used to
there? There's a
laugh.
Chinese curse that says, "May you live in interesting times." So
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes you just want things to be boring.
Oh,
Anyways, yeah, let's see what's happening. We got 20 seconds here to the market open. I don't have any great targets for the open. I mean, AMD's gapping down. I think after the big day yesterday, I'm going to watch it to see if I get maybe a rising devil type trade. There's no real news on it, but maybe we'll have to see. It's not doing that much. Here we go, guys, and there's the bell. Let's see. Let's see where we go. Hmm.
all right. Wow. Video. Take a nice little dive here. Let's get our Atlas, friends. Friends, don't forget. Pull up your Atlas. Have it ready.
Oh
Look up the
yeah.
tickers. Yeah, me and Peter are working it into our routine. We've been doing this for so long, right? It takes a little bit, but we're working into our routine. Get our Atlas in place. Do the same thing every time. Okay. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go, friends. Here we go. Here we go. Friends, hit that thumbs up. We're 215 with almost 1,200 people watching. That's pretty big. So thank you guys for being here. But help us out. I would love to always get half of the viewers that we have. Right? That'd be awesome. Be awesome. All right, MU. I got just 3 tickers. MU's trying to pull up. Could be a good 1 minute engulfing pattern if it can stay above the VWAP and engulf here. We'll see what happens. AMD. Oh, AMD. Are we having a run on AMD? I'm not missing today's run on AMD. Let's see here.
Yeah. I don't
Gonna
know
go
where
green.
things are going here.
I don't have a strategy. What am I doing? Don't get in this.
NVIDIA, I'm watching AMD here, and AMD does have topside orders. Yeah, maybe I still am short bias on AMD, but it's
You are short bias in AMD.
I am, but
Oh,
it doesn't look short. It doesn't look short.
yeah. I'm like, okay.
That's that's the problem, right? So
Yeah. But you mentioning that makes me want to look at a different way as well. See maybe what you're seeing, because I don't see the short. But hey, you could be right. We don't know here.
the
What is
data is sort of
Atlas giving us, if anything?
the data is telling me something different,
Yeah.
but
Oh, MU thing looks it's looking rather weak. I like this setup here. This below the VWAP possible 1 minute breakdown if it can stay down. So let's see. It can go so many ways. It's like they want to go up, but a lot of these are looking short. Like in let's see here. Nvidia struggling above the VWAP. TSM, nice drop there. Our popcorn ticker not doing much. Okay. Dun, dun. AMD could be a long. AMD could be a long. All right, guys. What do you like? What do you guys like so far? Anything? Nvidia 1 minute ORB. We're coming up. I might as well wait for the 5 minute. 5 minutes coming up here. Let's see if we can find a 5 minute ORB. Up or down. Nvidia could go either way. I like it long here above the VIA, but it's not a definite long given the way it's battling. And all of them, MU looking the same way. AMD's the only one that took off. AMD's the only one that took off here. Other ones are slightly struggling. 10 seconds to the 5 minute mark. Long AMD Smith, nice. Good job, guys. Good job. AMD is again delivering heavy and beautifully as well. Nvidia, look at that. Nvidia is not a certain long here, guys. Careful, wait for signals. Wait for confirmation. MU might go the other way. Big indecision candle on the 5 minutes. Just look at this indecision candle. Like, look at the wicks. So, I'm gonna hate doing this, but
all right, we're keeping an eye on things here, seeing what we got. What's the
yes,
big drop in no, what are you watching?
I'm watching MU. I'm watching AMD and MU and AMD. I'm sorry, MU and Nvidia. I'm watching very close. I think one is gonna end up breaking one way or the other. I don't know which way. MU to me seems like a short. But it's not a. Not a pretty short. Above 200. Apple. Ooh, Apple above the VWAP. Yeah, setting up nice actually. If we can get the, here's our pullback now, right? So we got to get the confirmation on the way up, and that could be a nice little breakout. If you don't like that one, maybe a 5-minute engulfing breakout towards the top. But MU, MU is breaking lower, but I can't chase it here. Ah. Damn it. NVIDIA's up to you. AMD did drop back down. See that this, I think you're right, Peter. It's looking a little bit weakish here. They're not taking off just right away.
The orders are building to the
Yeah.
downside.
NVIDIA moving higher here. Andrew is long NVIDIA, friends, and that's looking pretty nice there for him right now, up to 8250. Oh man, MU. AMD is king of head fakes. Yeah, it tends to do that. AMD does do that. But yesterday was great. Okay, I'm thinking of going short AMD here. Yeah, I'm gonna go short AMD here. Stop above the VWAP. Yeah, we got the VWAP breakdown. I was trying to see if it was gonna do a 5-minute engulfing pattern, but it didn't. But this is a good setup for our VWAP breakdown. So let's see if we can get at least a low of the day. Would be great. But if we don't start seeing this thing move down quickly, we'll get out of it because it could be it's a strong stock, right? It was strong yesterday. It could still have some strength left today. But let's see. Going short here. Let's see if the drop is in it. This is a good fake right here. Good rejection. But again, it is such a strong sector to short. Oh yeah, JC Trader. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, let me look at the NVIDIA, AMD. See if it we can get something going here. Where's my Atlas? I just had it up. Did I? All right, guys. Short NVIDIA. A very very tough morning. Like
Yeah, we
very
didn't get any
very
good
tough morning.
any real good setups.
No.
Very choppy. So I said, I was afraid that we were going to get choppy. I see the market breaking down here now.
Yeah.
I don't see the semis following. Oh, you see, you got
Yeah. I
Nvidia.
see
Nvidia's
MU.
moving down.
CMU. Oh, NVIDIA. What a nice drop. Come on. Everything's dropping except my AMD. Seriously? What kind of joke is this? I don't like this. I don't like the market's jokes. I really don't. Like, come on. Everything is dropping, but you're gonna hold it. All right, there we go. At least now we're getting something. You're gonna hold AMD against me like that hostage. This is brutal. Come on. Look at MU. Look at NVIDIA drop. TSM dropped very early on, giving some of those profits back just below the previous day close. AMD is hopefully gonna fold to the will of the sellers here.
Yeah, let's hope so. I'm short with you on AMD, so I'm really hoping it works.
Yes,
I
yes,
just
yes,
I
yes.
just tried to add into this trade because I got in with too small of a size, and my ad I got a terrible fill on it. So I don't like that at all. So I need a good drop down 130, sorry, 235 is what I'm hoping
I
for.
was gonna say 130. What, Peter? What
Yeah,
are you
yeah,
doing? Nah, nah.
130. That would be great for
Oh,
me,
oh,
but I think that
this
would be
thing.
a little problematic
Yeah,
overall.
yeah. I think we'll have bigger financial problems in the economy if this thing drops to 130. Oh man. All right, let's go. Just drop the low of the day here.
It just happened. What the hell?
Well,
I think I must have accidentally done what I normally do. I hit the move stop to break even button and I just got stopped out. I didn't mean to be. I didn't mean to do that.
no. Oh, do not tell me
Come
that,
on,
Peter.
man. What you moron? What did I do?
Damn.
Oh, see,
Ah,
there's the
dude.
drop. Yeah.
Dude,
And
that breaks my heart to hear, man.
yeah,
Ah,
that's well, that's
it's, it
to do
happens.
that. I just automatically hit those buttons, and I didn't mean to because of the bad fill that I had. It moved my stop way down into the price action at like
Crap.
236.50 was 236.50. Sorry, 236.65 ended up being my stop, my break even because of the bad ad,
And it went
and
right to that.
it,
It went
I know,
right.
like it
Yeah.
just took me out right at the top of the
Wow.
candle. So, anyways, oh well, what can you do?
Ag. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. Maybe we'll get
Well,
a move
maybe
back
get a
to VWAP.
pullback. Although I don't know if I would trust it to come back down if it goes up too much, man. This stock
Yeah, we'll
is
have to see.
struggling to sell
It's
off so bad. Um,
yeah.
and now we got a bunch of orders at the top. So I got a partial here, guys, on AMD. And let's see here. Grab my break
Oh,
even point.
they've
See what it
what?
does. Yeah, this thing wants to go long. Well, I don't know yet. Maybe. Not sure. Um, Nvidia back up at the VWAP. Yeah, these stocks they're all trading very funky today. I do not like the way these stocks are trading today. Wow, CRML. What a beautiful drop here, friends. CRML taking a nice little dive.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice.
What is this? One of the ones we were watching. Is this thing halted? No, it's not halted. It's just not doing anything.
Ticker? What's
The
ticker?
big one, PRAX, that we were
Yeah, yeah, we had
watching
that. We had the
pre-market.
popcorn one. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
moving
just look at it. Is it? Well, look at it. Look how
now.
dead sideways it is.
Yeah,
That's just
yeah,
ugly.
it's ugly,
That's
man.
ugly. Yeah.
There's no volume in this thing, so again, be very very careful.
Yeah.
All right, AMD battling against the VWAP here. Yeah, I do see Nvidia, yeah, coming up to
Market's
the VWAP
pushing
here.
higher.
You know what? I on any other stock, who mentioned that I'm not a I'm not a mammon. On any other stock, I would take this. I would definitely take this setup here. I just don't like. I don't want to be in another trade. I'm in AMD right now, which I'm probably gonna get stopped. I'm holding towards my original stop at 238, slightly below that. Just holding towards the VWAP because it's so close to my entry anyway. Might as well use that technical level there. But I don't like the way these things are trading, man. So I see it breaking out here. I don't like the way Nvidia, MU, or AMD are trading. And I am in AMD. It's just me don't like it, but Nvidia's going. right? So let's see. It's going here. Well, it's up a little bit. It's not going yet. It's up slightly. You see, this is just, we're having continuation commitment problems on these tickers today. Yeah, I heard Walmart is might be joining the $1 trillion club. I heard about that this morning. Will be one of the rare companies that is not a tech company that can possibly join that club.
Yeah.
Everything else is tech. So yes, I did see the comment. Someone mentioned that thanks for reminding them to hit the like button. Yeah, we forget. You know, we come in and I could see myself going youtube.com, clicking Bear with Traders, letting the ad load and going to get my coffee, setting up and just relaxing, hearing Peter and Carlos talk stocks and entertainment and nonsense and whatever we do, right? Whatever segment we're in. And I can see someone forgetting to hit the like button 100% because that would be me. But if I can kindly ask you to smack that thumbs up, highly, highly appreciate it. But yeah. Oh, man. Richard, I'm not going to answer that because if I answer that I did not watch Fight Club, I'm going to get some thumbs down.
Oh, Carlos, come on, man.
I will this weekend. I will this weekend. It has to be on the weekend. You know, the weekdays is just not going to work. It has to be on the weekdays. Yeah, this is moving up, but how do you trade this? This PRAX, you can't trade this, man. It's up $5. I mean, you could, but just risk management. Like if you can manage your risk, if you can hold on to your risk management values while you're in this ticker, and you have a strategy, by all means, go for it. But if you don't, please be careful. All right, one partial on AMD. I'm hoping for a drop of this new low of the day, 235.36, and see if we can get something further. It looked good here, but there's some kind of level.
I swear to God, the market's out to take me. What the hell?
Did you get in and get out again?
Yeah, I tried to get in. I got in short. And my stop, I got filled at 236. So tell me this, Carlos. I got filled a minute ago, right? At 236, 83.75. Can you tell me what the top of that candle is? What's the highest price on that candle?
81.
Yeah.
236.81.
Yeah.
How did you get filled at what?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I got filled over the top of the candle.
Yeah. Now,
how'd that work?
In DAS defense, this has happened to me, right? I have put in an order and my triangle will be up here. And there's no line up there and I got filled, right? So I'm just like, how the heck did that happen? And then a couple of minutes later, Peter.
Look, I'm out again for the move. Oh my God. What the heck is wrong with me today?
I know.
Look at that. There's the move. There's the range. That's exactly where I wanted to go for a partial. What the heck? What the heck?
Oh man. Yeah. Sorry, Peter. So sorry.
Well, it's just one of those days.
And then so that triangle is sitting out there. I'm like, how the heck did that happen? But remember, DAS is not filling your orders. Interactive Brokers is, right? So you're saying your orders, Interactive Brokers is the one filling it. Sometimes the charts, I don't know if you guys seen this before, but I have after being in the screen so many times. You see the charts update and they'll have the line up. Have you seen that, Peter, where the bars will update and they will correct themselves? Yeah, so could be something like that. But not cool when it's not in your favor.
Not cool, man. Not cool.
Yeah. I took a partial here, guys, because I still think that AMD is going to give us a hard time breaking down from here. So another partial there. Sarah, 2 days in a row with Google. Let's see here. Very good for you. How are you trading this? What's the strategy on this thing? We're taking it like a 5-minute RB, 1-minute RB, view at breakout. So Sarah's been watching Google the last 2 days. She's been doing pretty well on it. Like I say, it's trading pretty good. Why are you bouncing back? Like look at an AMU. AMU's dropping. AMD's bouncing back again.
Yeah, AMD's
So
getting some
glad it took
support
a
here.
partial here. So glad it took a partial. This is messy. Messy, messy. What's Andrew doing today? How's oh, he's watching Rigetti. Rigetti fell apart. That's a good short.
Mm, didn't yeah, I didn't see that one. Oklo, another good short.
Peter, that's because you did not say Rio Baba correctly. The market cursed you.
Mm,
uh, highly doubt it, but
I guess.
yes. So
I
that's
didn't
the,
even
that's
try and say it.
that's Rio
Look at
Baba.
me. I just I
I know. If
acknowledged I couldn't
anything,
say it.
yeah. If anything, I'll be getting damned here. Tesla. What did Tesla do? Okay, now Peter, you get back in. I know you got back in on
No,
AMD
I did not.
on that pop.
I
Okay,
did not.
okay, okay.
No. It's looking too choppy here. This is not
Yeah,
my targeted setup, so
it looks so good. Like if it wants, like it comes here, like if it wants to go, and then somebody keeps saying not yet
yeah.
and pulls it back up. And if I look at Atlas, it's looking long actually.
Remember you were
At,
looking at Apple a few minutes ago and said, "Oh,
yeah,
Apple maybe
yeah.
long." Sort of happy you avoided that disaster. That's just
Ooh, yeah.
looking
It's not
ugly.
doing anything. Yeah, right
Not
here.
doing anything. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And look,
Well,
we
see,
never
this is
got the
why you
confirmation
stick with
either, right?
things.
Like we went long here. Here's the pullback. This candle never really got
AMD,
over.
Carlos, just AMD's
Yeah,
over VWAP here. Just so you're, I don't want you
yeah.
to
No,
lose
thanks for the
focus
heads
on it.
up. 2:30, I'll get out. I've taken two partials already, so we'll leave the trade green, thankfully. But we didn't get the move we wanted on this thing. It's just way too messy. So 238, we'll just slightly below our original stop. We'll jump out here. So hotkey bounce ready. 235. Yeah, we'll jump out here. Yep. So we're out of it. Small green. It's just it is what it is. We lucky we even ended green on this trade. This thing is just. I thought we were gonna get stopped out here. I really thought this was it,
Yep.
but did survive that. Chop fest. It today is a chop fest.
It is. Choppy, choppity, chop, chop.
Besides CRML, everything is choppy. AQMS. This was one that went like to $40 yesterday, right? So it's at 17. I mean 18 now. Okay, nice. Did hit 20. Man, this thing can move. This is one of those tickers where you take a couple of shares, and if it goes your way, you make like $2,000, $3,000, and you feel like you're a trader. Because I done that many times in the past. Yeah, I feel like I got this, and but man, it's so hard for the consistency. That's the problem. So careful, careful, careful.
Andrew's long AMD now, so
He is. It
Carlos,
looks good.
he took your shares as you.
Yeah, I sold my shares. I sold him my shares. Guys, you guys like the thumbnails on YouTube? Does it matter to you guys? You guys like it? Does it like, oh, this is nice or no? I've been doing them every morning and trying to like see what looks good and what doesn't. Um, Plus trying to keep it simple as well. Or do you, some of you guys probably don't even care. You just click on the thing and just go in, right? Yeah, they look great. They're good for a change for sure. Yeah, right. Because it was getting stale, right? Just keeping the same one. Wow, AMD, very nice.
Yeah, I went long at the previous day close, Carlos, trying to capture
Sweet,
this move
sweet.
higher. Not my normal trade, but I figured if Andrew can do it, I should be able to do it. So I'm going to take a partial up here.
Very nice,
because
Peter. Very
we're at
nice.
the
Very
level other
nice.
than the wick. We're at the level we spiked to earlier this morning. So
What is revenge trading? I haven't done revenge trading in a while. I'll show you when I do it. When I do, I say, "Hey, this I'm revenge trading right
I'll
now."
show you what I do.
uh, um, it's such a fine line. But revenge trading
Generally,
is, yeah. Go ahead, go ahead. You take it.
yeah. Well, it usually takes one of two forms, right? You either get stopped out of a trade and then it starts to move in the direction you originally thought, and you just jump in because you're like, I got to get this to work. But it could just be choppy, right? And then it pops back up again and stops you out, and then it goes down again. You're like, I'm going to jump back in short, like on this AMD. I could have been in this thing 5 times trying to catch the short, and it would have just been I wouldn't really have a strategy anymore. I want to make the trade work. That's one version of it. The other version is often where it goes against you and you're like, fine, if AMD you're not going to be short, I'm going to go long and I'm going to make money long. But then it stops going higher and then it stops you out to the short side. And you're like, you know what? Fine, you want to go short? I'll go short. And then it moves down a little bit and then stops you out. And you're like, okay, so it's going to be long, then I'll take you long again. Both of those are versions of revenge trading. Bottom
Yeah,
line,
yeah.
you're reacting emotionally and you're just reacting to the short term, movement of the candles, not actually having a strategy to try and say, well, here's where I think a reasonable level of support or resistance is. Here's my target. You're just reacting to chart movement, and that's not what you want to be doing.
Yeah.
So I'm out, by the way, of AMD. It came back to the previous day close, and I stopped at a break even. So a tiny little trade with just a little green, but dilutes my earlier red from the loss that I had. But, yeah, and AMD is clearly choppy. I mean,
It's
Nvidia doesn't look
brutal.
any better.
It's
They're both
brutal,
choppy
man. Look
today.
at this thing. Everything AMD, MU is a little bit better on the drop. You did get a little bit of continuation, a lower leg at least, right? If we would have taken it short, would have got a lower leg. So nice. AMD didn't really give you that. The bottom shot up and then back here, and Nvidia's even just no commitment to any type of continuation besides this really tight range that they all have. AMU looks a little bit different, but AMD and Nvidia pretty much the same. But within that, we got a couple of moves, right? We got this one. This was okay. Thankful for this partial here, or else this would have been a red trade. Stopped out of slightly above break even. And Peter, you took it long here, took a partial, and then stopped out. Or are you still in it? Are you
Yeah.
still in it?
No. I stopped
Okay.
it. Yeah.
And then we'll see. And then we have some other ones that traded very well that normally wouldn't. CRML, great short, very light volume. But again, not typically something we trade. And then what's Rigetti? I see people mentioning Rigetti. Yeah, it's good short. Don't know how I would have traded it, but it is did trade well to the downside. POTR broke out. I don't have a strategy here, but here maybe I'm not sure. I don't know if I would have joined that. Oracle. Yeah, Oracle is still going too. Nice.
Let's see what is Oracle doing. Ugh. Well, that's a little messy. I see the move, but that's not an easy
Yeah.
trade to have taken on Oracle.
What else, friends? What else we look? SMH. Let's take a look here. Yeah, it's a choppy day. At least on the stuff we're watching. Besides CRML, everything else is choppy. Shaking my head. What a ticker.
Yeah.
SMH.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's not. It's tough. It's a very choppy day.
Like here, Nvidia looks like it wants to lose it, but then finds a way to bounce. Has in the last couple of times. AMD right back down below the VWAP. Look at the SPY. Yeah, SPY is not helping anything. SPY is not helping the situation. And this is where we wait, traders. Put the safety on, hands off the trigger, and just relax. Relax, wait, have a conversation. Maybe get your second cup of coffee if you're a coffee drinker. Oh, let's do a poll. How many coffee drinkers we have here? This will be more exciting than the markets right now. All right, let's see. How do we do a poll on YouTube? Oh. The Simpsons predicted market crash next Thursday. We'll be on the lookout.
They
No
did.
question.
The Simpsons. Using the Simpsons to do market time. Why not, right? We can use anything you want.
Money is in waiting and not trading. What does it mean? I think it's the simple version of that, or a way to simplify that is just don't trade if you don't have a strategy. You know, if you don't see your signal and your strategy's not there, just don't trade it. Because look, some of our strategies help us prevent entering trades that are not going to end up working out, right? So, for example, like a couple of your breakouts. Which one did we see here? Was it Nvidia? I think Nvidia here, you know, fails the confirmation, right? Fails. Here fails the confirmation. Here you get the confirmation. Here's the breakout pullback. You get the confirmation. But after looking at all of this, like you got to consider this too, like how choppy it's been, how rangy we are. You know, I made the decision not to take this trade. Now, could I have taken maybe a partial towards the high of the day, maybe, then stopped out? That's okay at break even. But this here, you know, with the information you have has been failing, then you don't take that trade. So I think it's a lot of things, but mainly, you know, just don't force it. Like, don't force it. Wait. If your setup is not there, your category one trades, category two at best, you know, don't, at worst, don't force it. Don't force it and walk away. Come back tomorrow. The market's not going anywhere unless Simpson predicted that too. And we'll be here, you know, we'll be here tomorrow again. So, what is the top line? Which top line you're seeing here? On which tick? Let me know on which tick because I switched to a few there, I think.
Wow. Wow. This is just ugly, Carlos.
Yeah, it's
It's
bad. I'm not even actively like looking to trade something because we just gotta wait it
yeah.
out. You know, we just gotta wait it out.
Just one of those days. Whereas yesterday was was just glorious with opportunity. Today, not so
Yeah,
much. And then
yeah,
there are days like that. I guess I was right. My gut feel was right this morning. I did call it before the market for all of you, all y'all. I did say it's feeling like we were just gonna sort of stay in a range. So far, that's proven to be true.
yeah. And if you make some money, or you know, on a day like today, that is like plus
Yeah,
plus. So, you know, that's
yeah.
very good, very good. Hold on to it. Don't give it back. Fishing in a place where clearly the fish are dead right now. There's no fishes in this pond. Um, let's see here. So yeah. And that doesn't mean the entire day is done too, because we've seen so many times where like the first hour, we're only in 35 minutes, guys. I mean, this market just opened,
Yeah.
right? So we see like the first hour and a half is pretty bad. Then later things start to settle down, and you could get these great breakouts. Um, you know, let's save some ammo for that because that's coming. You know, rarely do we see all the tickers stay choppy the entire day. Like that doesn't really happen. You might get a little breakout here and there um, some tickers that can be tradable. So
Yeah, this is a shame. Why weren't my meetings all today instead of yesterday? Looks like
um,
wow, it's just one of those. God, it's not glorious. Thank goodness.
yeah.
PRAX is finally moving higher.
All right. Let's see here. All right, did it. Nice. Okay. So there it is. Put your votes in, friends. So coffee, anyone, and then we have yes, black, please, yes, with cream or milk, which whatever you guys do, or no, thank you. Let's see what the coffee community is in here. Let's get the coffee pulse of the community. We need story fillers. Yeah, this is a great day for story fillers and rants. Let's get some stuff in here. Yeah. So we got the first one. We got the coffee stuff going, and let's see how that looks. I remember trading on a really I was so tired on this day, and I put my I think I mentioned this story here before. This kind of just remind me of this. I have this where put my hand on there, whatever, and you know when you're falling asleep, if you fell asleep at work before,
Oh
I
yeah,
have
yeah,
fallen
yeah.
asleep at work, and you know you have these
Yeah.
reactions, you have these
Right.
like these
Yeah.
ticks you do, right? So I'm
Yeah.
there, and actually, I was so tired. Like, you know what? Let me go sit outside. It was a nice summer day. I actually went to sit outside. I'm sitting here with my thing connected to my laptop, and I'm just there. I'm like having my coffee, whatever. Nothing is working. I fall asleep. I'm in a position. I'm just waiting for it to do what it has to do, and I'm just gonna go back to bed or something. I have one of these jumping reactions, and my fingers goes like this. And I completely get out of the trade. I'm like, what the, you know what? Like, you know what? Screw this. I closed everything, and I'm just
Yeah.
going to bed. I just went to bed. It was like I was tired. One of the kids were sick. Something kept me up all night. I was exhausted, but I wanted to trade so badly, and yeah, it was hilarious. Just that reaction of like when you wake up. Yeah, not cool, not cool. Oh
No.
man,
Wow,
good stuff, good stuff.
this is awful. This choppiness. This is just horrible.
Yes, so many
Well,
stories,
let's hope
so
it
many
gets better.
things.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, like nodding
Where's
off in
my
church.
250?
Yeah.
It's 3:50 p.m. Michelle. It's 10 minutes before the close. So it's called the 1 to 10 is what I call it. And it's basically it's a little bit of a momentum, trend reversal momentum strategy. So you need some market volume. It's really when the markets tend to close out a bunch of orders. You see price movement, sudden jump in volume, and then you try and trade it. So there's details. We've got the strategy outline detailed I know it's at Bearable Traders. I think it's I think I've got a summary in Trading Terminal as well. We used to have one on YouTube. I don't. It's probably still out there somewhere, but I don't know
Yeah.
where, to be honest.
All right, so here it is, 182 votes. So what do we have? Where's the? How do I look at where we
What's the result?
stand?
Here we go. 45% say yes with cream and milk. 42% said black, and only 13% of us said no thanks.
All right. All right, so we got a pretty strong
There you go.
coffee community, yeah. Over 80%
But that
of you
that
guys
that's
drink
I think that
the
matches
mud,
the
the dirty water mud.
yeah, that feels like it, Carlos, generally matches the the population at large.
Yeah.
People seem to love their coffee, and that's why all these coffee shops do so well.
Yeah.
Not my thing, but
Yeah.
you know, I know I'm in the
Again,
minority.
wasn't my thing for a very, very long time, Peter. I literally started drinking coffee probably like maybe 10 years ago. But before that, I missed out on a lot of free coffee in the corporate. Well, you know how it is in corporate. Everybody brings coffee. Every meeting, there's coffee. It's coffee du jour, when you work in these companies. So I missed out on a lot of free
Yeah,
coffees. Like, I'll have the tea, please, or the water. And that's how I went about.
yeah. That's I my entire corporate career I missed out because, well, I didn't feel like I was missing out. I didn't want any. You guys can have it. You drink all the
Yeah,
coffee you
yeah,
want. More for you.
yeah, yeah.
It was funny. Like there would
How
be a
the
lot of times, Carlos,
features.
where I'd go into these meetings. I found
Yeah,
it, especially the senior, like the executive meetings, where they would have, like, you'd be in with the executives, and then the admin assistant would come in and, hey, can I, what can I get you? And it used to be, I would say 20, 25 years ago, when I was doing this, they would just say, what would you like in your coffee? Like, it wasn't a would you like a
it wasn't a
coffee? It was just
question.
what would you
Yeah,
like in your coffee? Like, the assumption was everybody drank it. Then it morphed to, would you like a coffee or a water? So then they sort of acknowledged that maybe not everybody's drinking coffee, but it was interesting to see that transition. But there are a lot of times where, I'm like, no, thank you, no coffee, and they're like, oh, just black, and I'm like, no, like, no coffee, period. I'm good. And then they
just
look at
black.
me like, are you okay? Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. What's wrong with this guy?
Yeah,
Who pissed this guy off
yeah,
this
that's good.
morning?
Yeah,
Eh,
anyway.
I gotta tell you, I'm not a proponent of smoking cigarettes. I don't smoke cigarettes. I feel a certain way about them. Not my thing. Cigars, yes, I do here and there, like celebratory type stuff. But if you look at pictures, man, from like these airlines back in the days, how great does that
Yeah.
look? They got this big giant dining room table in front of them. They're sitting there. They're smoking their cigars or whatever it is. Everybody's happy. Nobody's complaining. I'm just like, I was born the wrong time. I need to be born a little bit further back. Uh, this looks awesome. It looks so great. Like, that's the
It
life
just
now. If you told those people what the airline flights would look like 10 years, 20 years from now, they'll be like, nah, no
right.
way. Who will fly in that? Everybody?
Yeah,
Oh, man.
fair
Looks
enough.
incredible. So, look for it
Carlos
right
just
now.
he wants his the good old days, eh?
Ah, yes, it looks good. It looks very good. I think I could have done very well in that era. What was that, the 70s? And this is not even look like it's first class. It looks like it's just the whole entire plane. uh, that is great. All right. I mean, you guys, some of you guys might have been around. Was this really happening? I mean, this looks a little much.
Where
Was
are you
that
getting
is
these?
how it was
Where are you
going
getting these
down?
pictures from?
I mean,
I don't. Well, that wasn't in my era. That's
you
before
were
my time, for
you were not
sure.
even born. We were not born yet, Peter. So it's
No,
like,
well, I don't know. That's wow.
nah, not like 1960s, man. You were
Yeah,
not even
that's got to be '60s, because
you were not even a twinkle in anybody's eye here. But listen, um, anybody around? I mean, I don't think it's AI because I see a lot of these pictures with these type of stuff, man. So I don't know. Look at this.
that feels a little.
Uh,
I mean,
so,
I'm sure it happened, right? Like wherever there's people with money,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
but wow, AMD, by the way, did finally get to a high of day.
yeah, yeah. AMD did actually break out nicely here. MU also took off. Nvidia actually might be looking nice.
Hmm. Hmm.
Maybe.
Hmm. All right, where are we going here?
Do financial
Finance.
professionals become good traders?
Good day.
No, not necessarily.
Not
Yeah,
necessarily. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
because some of
But
them
do
are really good with other people's money, right? They're really good with other people's money, but then their own money is, it's a little bit different, right? So it's
it,
not always.
a lot of trading is getting out of your own way, right? Whatever bad habits you have, and financial advisors, for example, their problem is often they tend to look at fundamentals, right? And like, the fundamentals can get in the way of a good trade, because I don't care. You could have the strong. I mean, hell, I short Nvidia all the time, and everybody agrees the fundamentals of this thing is still super strong. It's the biggest company the planet has ever seen. To the moon. I mean, I'll short the heck out of it if the trade pattern, lends itself to that. So, it depends on if they're able to, day trade for day trading, or if they sort of combine other inappropriate perspectives that would be good if you're swing trading or long term investing, not so good necessarily if you're day trading. So, mm. All
It's like
right.
Air Canada was doing this, Peter. Look at Air Canada. This is definitely
Okay.
not AI. Is this bird alive? I think this bird's alive. It's definitely not AI. AI would not get that part right
Birds are
there.
live. Really put
You
live
know,
bird. Well, I mean,
you do this
I
now,
guess.
the amount of criticism Air Canada will get on a
Oh,
picture like this.
it's
First, the
they're
bird,
not.
right?
Well, how are you
Then
gonna
this
cook it?
guy.
You're not bringing that on the
Look at
plane.
this
Come
guy. You're a
on.
couple. Like there's no way that light to be this close. This is like HR issue. I mean, this is just not right. I mean, they'll get killed. They'll get killed. The marketing will get killed. Let's focus on trading. This is good. All right. That's what happens when we get bored, friends. Don't let us get bored. We're going to very dark alleys. Let's go into Nvidia and see what
Gross.
else is happening here.
Oh
Yeah, you
God.
can't stand. Can you imagine standing behind a coworker that close like that? Oof. No, 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 no. We need Brian here. We need Brian to see what was flight like back in those days.
When I used to, you remember the show Mad Men? This is a big,
Yeah.
advertising agency. I
Yeah.
would talk to my mom. I'd call my mom back in the day when that first came out, and I said, "Was it really like that, Mom? Was
Hmm.
like the work environment like that for women?" And she told me, she said, "You know what? This is tame compared to what actually happened." Because
Yeah.
she was a working woman. She was a teacher for a period of time, and well, teacher for her whole career. But before that, I know she had a couple of office jobs and professional jobs, and yeah, she said, "You know what? By today's standards, you couldn't believe what happened." But I don't know, Carlos. It's we can't handle the truth.
We can. You really want the truth? I'll tell you the truth. Oh boy. All right, semis are breaking out. I just don't see anything here. Nvidia looked like a possibility, but I don't see anything that I love to get in on. So yeah, look at PRAX did get going, had this breakout and it continue. We're going on a $40 move on PARX. Just insane.
I know. It's
All right, we're doing pretty good. 401 likes. We're there. Thank you guys. That's our goal. 400. We done our job. We didn't scare you away. Um, Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. That is awesome. And we can get 400 before me and Peter hop off is really nice. Wow. Nvidia's turning on the jets, friends. It's turning on the boosters here. Look at
I
it go.
know.
Breaking this
You gotta
182
wait. Just gotta wait.
high of the pre-market. And you're just salivating for a reversal here, Peter, anytime soon. Is that what you're looking for?
Oh, I am. Yeah. Oh, I was watching AMD for a potential reversal because it sort of made a similar move. But I'm not, with the choppiness, I wanted to see a definitive signal, and I haven't really seen it yet. I mean, we just got to pull back on AMD, but not enough.
Yeah.
Mm. Andrew's long NVIDIA. He hung in here. See, he took the
Yeah,
long,
very
waiting for the
nice.
breakout.
Yeah,
Wasn't
yeah, yeah, yeah.
afraid. He wasn't afraid, like me. I was afraid.
All right. Looking for 183.10. These guys order out there. Oracle, I see people in chat mentioning Oracle. Also in our chat as well. People are, yeah, Oracle did grind higher, slowly but surely. Did grind a little bit higher here. Yes, yes, yes.
Let's see what else we got, Carlos. Look,
Yeah,
most of the rare earth metal stocks have dropped this morning. LAC, if you remember,
yeah,
was the only one that
LAC.
was red. It was the
Yeah,
only one red, but now everybody else has joined it except NVA. NVA is the only one that's green that I'm watching.
yeah. So you guys know I have a swing on this one. My entry's 650. So right in here, right in this area. But we taken 3-4 parcels already on this thing. So 650 we'll definitely get out. Maybe 750 will jump out of it. So we'll see what happens. Nvidia, MU, AMD, everything rocking this morning. If Tesla drops, it will be later. Don't short now. Yeah, Tesla's still very tight range, right? On this daily. Very tight range. Hasn't really gone up or down. Just hanging out there. And we'll see. Friends, so we forgot yesterday to do our annual membership giveaway, right? Andrew mentioned it, but we got into talking about things we should not been talking about, and Andrew trying to get with certain people that might have no business getting with, and we almost cut the show early. It got a little crazy towards the end, so we will do it today. So 10:50, right before Andrew logs off, we will do it today. So Lambos and Garbage Truck members will give away one annual elite membership. If you have already one, just to make it fair, you're only going to get 1 month extended, right? We'll still We respect your win, but we'll get you 1 month extended. Um, if you have one, and you tell me you have one, and you want to be kind enough to give it to somebody else, we'll run the raffle again. Let me know in chat. Hey, I won already. Give it to somebody else. We'll run it again for someone. So let's see who's willing to give up if they won twice. That'll be nice. No pressure. No pressure. But yeah, Lambos and Garbage Truck. And if you do want to join the Lambos and Garbage Truck family, it's very easy. So much stuff happening there, guys. There's so much stuff to come. Head over to
Excuse me.
our main website. Bless you, Peter. Main website here. And then just next to subscribe, you can click join. And right there, you'll be part of the Lambos and Garbage Truck family and get access to other videos, early releases, Andrew's recaps and videos and all that good stuff. So Ravi, I was promised a membership last year. Oh wait, it was a dream. Which one? Which one did you get? If you were the one that wanted the options book, we got it. We got it. If that's you, I have a couple of people that say, hey, I just put me on the wait list when you have more of Andrew's new book and stuff like that. And we have people that wanted Brian's book. So I got you guys in a folder. When we get those, we'll take care of you. Call me, so I got one for you. Brian sent it to me like two days ago or something. So I got it for you. I reached out to Brian. Brian was kind enough to do that, and I think Brian's going to do more options books too. I think Brian's going to give some of those away. He said this week, but he's traveling, so we'll do it next week. Do it next week. All right, here. Tesla below the VWAP. Do we think it can drop lower? NVIDIA. See, NVIDIA is so funny. Look at this move, and then boom, slams down to the VWAP. So yeah, beautiful breakout though. If you took it, that's a $2 pop. I mean, that's awesome. But there's just, it's not a great day. It's not the best day here, man. It's as we go into the first hour, only an hour in, friends.
Yep, only an hour in. You got to remember that.
Yep. Airplane. Is that a good movie? I hear people talk about Airplane. I haven't seen that. Gotta check that out.
Yeah, it's some of the jokes are a little dated, I would say. It's if you like that type of humor, that's
yeah. Someone remember I was telling you about that radio station where the guy was like, he could quote a lot of stuff, and this was one of the movies he came up with because some of the stuff he can quote easily. I remember if you win $1 million, if you could have the most quote on a movie, and he said that's one that he remembers a lot of quotes, but then he said he doesn't know if he can actually use those and be okay. So is it that bad? I haven't seen it.
So do you watch basketball, Carlos?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You're a basketball fan? Okay, so look, one of the people who makes a cameo appearance in the movie Airplane is one of the biggest basketball players of the era when the movie was released, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay.
So that'll give you an idea of the era in which this movie came out.
Oh, yes. 100% understand. Good morning, Andrew. How are you?
I am doing pretty good. Yeah, I stopped that.
Okay.
I am doing pretty good. I had a bad trading day, but Life is good. Beautiful sunrise is happening out there. Very nice colors in the mountain. So
It's a tough day
overall, it's good
today.
colors. Put it into the chat room as well. The screen. Yeah, NVIDIA and AMD didn't really give me a clean breakout. Are you kidding me? Now NVIDIA is bouncing back. Uh,
Yeah, it's
Nvidia's been doing this
brutal.
all morning though.
It's brutal.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible.
disgusting. Look at that. Like I've never seen this level of choppiness. Like it's just very classic chop. Like you don't expect it. Now it's gonna go through 183. Um, um, but AMD did eventually. AMD wasn't bad. Like at least I got two good trades on it. But I mean, it is what it is. So
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of fun today. Had a couple of losing trades. They weren't bad trades. They're just losing trades. One in AMD, one in Nvidia, and a couple of small winners. But yeah, couldn't get anything to go. Not a surprise, right? Like we said, it's one of those days. So hoping to get some good examples of the fallen angel strategy today, but so far I haven't seen anything that's set up. So we'll have to use some older examples, but don't forget, guys, we got a webinar on Trading Terminal tonight, free webinar for everybody, 7 o'clock. So hopefully you'll join us there. You just have to go to tradingterminal.com, click on the webinars in the left-hand menu, and you can find that and join us for that.
thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks for doing this, Peter. I really appreciate that. Peter is a great presenter, very good educator as well. So you're gonna learn that. I definitely come join for that. Thanks for doing this free for everybody. And we make sure to actually send an email for everybody to remember to remind.
Indeed. See everyone there.
Yeah, other than that, I'm not really getting into any trades. Because I kind of missed the yeah, it was very NVIDIA was very, very difficult to trade today. There's not much volatility happening in the overall market either. So it's like the same chart where SPY is disgusting. Q's obviously very disgusting as well. Bond market also doesn't do much. President needs to help us with a tweet.
What? We can talk politics? What's happening?
No, it's not politics. It's just an statement. It's just a
Any
statement.
chance Peter gets to jump in on that, huh?
I
I,
know.
you know what? I don't really. Well, I don't think I talk about politics a lot. But anyways, it's more fun because Andrew's always picking on it. So
Just, Mr. President, just to tweet a Kaffweffe. Even if a Kaffweffe is good enough for us. Like, that's it. Something for us to move this market up and down. We're
yeah,
happy days.
actually, yeah. Any news? So maybe some messages out of the White House would be good. We get the market to move.
Nice.
I honestly think it's largely because there was expected data today, and like I was mentioning, none of it happened. So we really didn't have a lot of data points. And I think that's got the market just, sort of a little nervous, moving sideways, saying, well, where's our jobs data? Where's our producer price index? So maybe this afternoon, everyone, will have better opportunities.
Um, yeah, I mean, NVIDIA was generally has a really good volume all the time, and the Atlas was super bullish at the open. But again, none of these, like it's just perfect. It looks like it's just perfect algos are trading up and down, up and down, up and down, and it goes up, and then like it's very interesting.
Yeah, but as you said, Andrew, we don't often get days that just look or are this bad, this choppy. It does happen, but
Yeah.
we've been spoiled, I think, because we're used to,
That's what the market should be
having
like.
things moving almost. This
Exactly.
used to be what the market was like most of the time.
Yeah.
Then we got spoiled that everything's always moving, going up, going down, giving us good moves. So, all right. So, reminder everybody, tomorrow morning, John is going to be here as I'm going to be attending a very exciting dissertation on in vitro investigations of conventional and robotic assisted total knee arthroplasty. There you go. That's for you, Andrew. That's what my daughter's PhD thesis is on. So dialing into that tomorrow. We lost Andrew. He's there. I see him
Who?
thinking. Deep thoughts. There you go. Gotta get you back.
What are you talking to?
I was trying to talk to you. You're
Oh, sorry, but
focused, man.
I was just yeah, sorry, I was just answering one email. Wow, NVIDIA broke out finally, huh? Damn it. This is criminal. This is criminal. A grand jury should indict NVIDIA today. Really.
Petter, often you take a PhD to prove A, then you take another PhD to prove A that was wrong. I don't. Jillian, say that again. I don't know if I could say it again. Let me try. So her thesis is on in vitro investigations of conventional and robotic assisted total knee arthroplasty. So, and if that meant something to you, you're a smarter person than I am, or at least
Peter,
more educated.
are you also invested in like penny stocks that Brian has? Brian has a lot of the penny stocks. Are you also
No,
doing that kind of gambling, degen trading?
no,
No.
no.
What
I
is your
do invest. I invest in similar type things, maybe. It depends on how you look at them. Like I have a lot of private investment funds. I like providing bridge financing. So a lot of what I do is bridge financing for startup companies.
you
So
provide
essentially,
that?
was that?
You actually yourself invest?
Yeah, yeah. Because what I do is, because when I used to run my company, well, the company I bought into, we had to get the bridge financing, and basically, it's called invoice factoring. You may be familiar with it, Andrew. So basically, companies say to meet their cash flow. Let's say they've got a client that says, I've issued the client $1 million invoice for services, but it's net due in 90 days. But I need money this month to pay payroll, or this week to pay payroll, and I don't have any cash. So you can actually sell your invoice to a company that says, I'll give you, so it's $1 million invoice. I'll give you $800,000 today, and I'll give you a month to pay. Sorry, and they basically charge you interest on it. So, and the interest rates are usually pretty good. So what'll happen is you have to pay like 20% interest on $1 million invoice. You get the $800,000 today, and then when you get the money from the client, you pay back the loan. So it's a good deal for everybody. It's an expensive way to get money for a startup, but hey, as well, Andrew, as you would know, running a bunch of businesses, cash is king, right? You need cash. And often you don't get paid at the
How
same.
do you secure that loan against what?
It's unsecured
Yeah.
because usually the startups don't have any value, right? So if we're lucky, we can secure it against the personal principal of the owner, but usually it's unsecured. So you get a very high rate of return, but it's at a pretty high risk. So
And then you send a hitman like Tony Soprano to get the money.
my official statement is I'm not involved in that side of the business.
Yeah, the execution for the murder incorporation is a different enforcement law. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Like
I have I
in,
have I have
in the
people who have
mafia,
people for that.
back in the 40s, 50s in New York City, they had this obviously the syndicate of mafia Italian crimes, but the enforcement branch was murder incorporation. Like look it up in Wikipedia.
Yeah.
So they were the enforcement branch of their mafia. So if someone doesn't play by the rules or something like that, they will have killed. Like Albert Anastasia, there's a movie about it. Like he was the
Right.
CEO of Murder Incorporation. Um, all right, so Peter, I want to ask you a couple of questions. So, beside
Okay.
this loaning that you're doing, what's your philosophy on long-term investing? Because someone questioned here, like I'm personally invested in S&P 500 and bonds, and I have some for properties. But what's your philosophy of overall wealth allocation?
I mean, long term, I follow largely, I would call it a Warren Buffett type strategy, which is, you buy companies at good value and hold them for a long period of time. And that's your best bet. But it depends on your time horizons, right? Like when we talk about long term investing, you need to you need to understand, are you doing this for 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years, right? Because that has a very, very different time horizon. What I would consider my short-term investments are these factoring deals that I just talked about. My mid-term investments are basically I buy an index fund that mirrors the S&P 500, and my long-term investment is buying in sort of blue chip companies. In Canada, that's things like Bell. It's like the banks. It's things like that. So for me, from an investing strategy, those are sort of the three time frames and types of companies I look at. And that's it. I keep it simple because I figure I take a lot of risk on my day trading. I don't need to put any more risk in
What
what I'm
about the
doing. And
properties? Do you have are you invested in real
I
estate?
don't I haven't gone into properties. I did at one point. I was really looking at buying buildings and being sort of a landlord, but the level of effort for the return I didn't like. And it's one that carries balloon risk that I wasn't comfortable with. Meaning, you're going to collect hopefully months rents every month, but then the building burns down and you've got this giant balloon cost, or you got a tenant that beats the crap out of a place and you got to completely renovate it. So I didn't like that unmanageable risk element. Plus, the bad tenants and the squatters, and tenant rights are very strong in Ontario. So it's almost impossible to get somebody out of a place if they just choose not to pay you. All of that combined, I said it doesn't make sense to rent properties. I looked at commercial, Andrew, but frankly, I didn't have enough money that I was willing to put. Like that's you need $5 or $10 million if you want to go commercial. That is actually a relatively good and safe investment, but it's not something I've put enough funding into. So, yeah, I'm not. I have no
But your
problem. I own my
primary
house.
residence, you own your house, the primary
Y-
residence, and
Yeah, outright. It's completely paid for. There's no mortgage. Yeah,
what about crypto? Or do you invest in crypto?
not at all. Nope.
No. So so you're a little bit different from Brian, because Brian, for
Yeah,
example, has a very interesting risk appetite. Like
yeah.
for his age and the stage of life he is, he has really good risk appetite. He does buy a lot of these penny stocks. He was one of the
Yeah.
early buyers of Bitcoin, like back in like 2010. The Bitcoin was came out and said, "Okay, I'm gonna buy." He went to one of these back alleys. The guy was a guy with the hoodie came, and then give me your phone, and then it's so shady,
I give
ten
you some
thousand
crypto.
dollars, that kind
Yeah,
of thing. Like he tells you the story. Like he has a very high risk
yeah,
appetite. Um, so that seems that, but you are more like me. It seems to me like I'm not really getting into this kind of penny stocks, crypto, very volatile assets. And
yeah,
I built my wealth also very consistently, slowly. I don't want to get into these exponential moves.
yeah. No, I agree with that. It's different for everybody. Now, that being said, Andrew, we always have to look at someone, and you rarely know the details. Brian, maybe that's just his fun money, right? It was fun going into the back alley and buying crypto from the guy. But, if he bought 20% of his entire retirement nest egg with that, then I think, wow, that's like super high risk. If he used like a tenth of 1% of his retirement income, then you're like, whatever, right? Play with it all you want. That's you're just having fun now. So
Well, how was what was your biggest trading loss, day trading loss?
my biggest day trading loss, probably it was not a single individual trade, but it was actually on Nvidia. And it was one of these days where, I'm a short bias trader, and I just had this conviction that it was going to go short, and I kept shorting it all the way up. I think
Sorry.
I think the price at the time was It was like 80 bucks to, it went to $120 in one day. And I was shorting it all the way up because I'm like, it's up 20%. How much higher could it go? It's up 30%. Can't go any higher, can it? Right. And I was stubborn and I didn't have a good set of rules. And Andrew, that's frankly one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about helping everybody in this community. Because, if we can just help them understand that one, it's natural, it's human to have those emotions. But two, then what can you actually do to manage it? And to have a better strategy in place so you just don't fall victim to it without knowing how to offset that natural tendency.
So if you want to give a
Uh,
piece of advice to yourself, I think you were one of the early traders that we had. I remember
oh
I
yeah,
started officially around 2017, and you were one of
yep.
theirs. If you see yourself back into 2017, knowing what you know now about trading, what would you say to that, Peter?
Uh, Be patient in building good habits. I was so eager to get to profitability that I would like start on a good path and I would do a couple of mature things and then I would make dumb moves, right? I would get excited because I was making money and I thought I figured this out. I know what I'm doing. And then I would lose a bunch of money. And then I get angry that I lost a bunch of money and I'd lose more. So the biggest thing I could go back and tell myself, just be patient. Take it slow, you know, build it a little bit of time. Building good habits is a lot longer process than you think. Just because you've won in a day, in a week, in a month, doesn't mean you're now a profitable trader, if I can use that general term. So, patience. That would be my biggest
And how
advice.
patient we're talking about, like years,
So
months?
years. I thought I was going to be profitable within 6 months. It took me 3 years before I was consistently profitable. It took me almost 5 years before I was making anywhere near the type of money I thought I was going to be making after 6 months. So that's a lot longer process than I thought it would take. And Andrew, like we've talked about many times, this is a skill that is, it's a difficult skill to master. And it's on par with any other profession, I would argue, right? You don't become a plumber overnight. You don't become a doctor. You don't like all, you either need an internship, you need to, learn the skills, you need to go to school for a long period of time. All of these things require a lot of focus, attention, and practice. And trading is no different in that respect. You need the practice, you need the experience, give it the time it deserves.
Months. Um, That's very important because a lot of traders are coming and then everybody's struggling, obviously, at the beginning. And there's always this question that when should I quit? And
Yeah.
it's very difficult to answer this question for people because we're in different stages of life. Like I am a single guy, 40-year-old, 42-year-old, it's a very different stage of life from someone that starts like an 18-year-old, your 20-year-old, still at the beginning of the career, or someone who's like later in the stage of life. So you have to make that decision. But the question is overall, what's your answer if someone is wondering if the trading is not for them? First of all, how do they know that trading is not for them? So they need patience or need, wisdom of quitting, like which one it is, and how long do you think they should give it a try? Like, what's your
Yeah. So, to the latter part of that, I don't think there's any fixed answer you can give anybody about how long to give it a try. I think that completely depends on your personal situation. I like to boil it down to three elements. So it's a good question, Andrew. Three elements for me. Number one, right? Do you have the money? Meaning, do you have the money to pay attention to, even if you're trading in a simulator, it's not about, losing money in the market. If you're trading in a simulator, there's other opportunities you're not taking advantage of. Do you have the money to pay attention to the markets? Whether that's your steady job, right? That you keep the steady job and you trade part-time until you prove it works, whether it's your cash reserves that you're living off of where you learn to trade, whatever it may be, right? Do you continue to have the money to trade? Second, do you enjoy it? Right? Are you because I think that's a big thing. If you hate it, it's going to be very difficult. Now, just because you hate it doesn't mean you have to stop. But frankly, if you find you're angry at the end of every week, if you're frustrated at the end of every day, if it's affecting your personal life, right, and you're not liking it, even if the potential is there for profit, even if you're well funded, you may just say, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to my life. It's not worth it to my family. It's not worth it to myself. That's item number two. The third criteria I think you should always look at is, am I making progress? And you could just look and say, look, I am not making progress and I am not motivated to figure out how to make progress. And it's some combination of those three, right? Money, enjoyment, and progress that you've got to evaluate for yourself. That at some point you got to look and say, look, I've got the money and I'm making progress, but damn, do I hate this thing. Well, then maybe it's time to say, this is not for me. I gave it a shot. It's a great, thing to do for some people, but not for me. On the other side, you may say, you know what? I love it. I love trading and I'm very passionate about it. I can see the progress, but I'm running out of money and it's putting my family at risk, or I don't know how I'm going to pay the mortgage. Then maybe you say, you know what? Trading's a great thing. Let me retain the passion. Let me keep reading, but you back off and you build the capital you need to properly focus and be able to provide the time, right? The funding to make it happen.
I mean,
So
now with the funded account that we have in the real-time simulator and DAS, the program, I think it's a really good starting point for a lot of people. I highly
yeah.
recommend keep your money in S&P 500 for now. Just don't bring it out. Don't start trading on it, and see if you can get the consistency through the fund program education that we have. I want to ask you a question
Yeah.
about the role of family in your trading journey. Like my
Point of view.
ex-wife was pretty very, very supportive. She never asked me how much you lost, how much you win. Like it was our own money. And I'm very grateful to her for that support. How much does your wife know about, or your family as well, about your trading, what you do, your losses, and how much pressure they add or they remove from your trading journey?
Yeah, I mean, my obviously the people in my life know that I'm a trader, and they know that's what I do. My wife especially understands what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and it has been very supportive. I mean, hell, I've been doing this full time for almost 8.5 years now, so she has to be supportive, or she wouldn't have been here for 8.5 years as we struggle through this process. But the details, we sort of came to an agreement a while back that, you know what, she stresses more over the details than I do. So she doesn't want to know when I have a winning day or a losing day. That being said, she's always been there for someone I can talk to, that I can bounce ideas off of, that I can just vent, just like it was in my professional life, right? She doesn't want to know that I had a bad review at my job, or whatever. But she wants to hear how my day went. So, I find it's the same thing on trading, right? I can tell her how my day went. I can talk to her. She doesn't really care about the details, and that's okay. But she's there to support me when I need it, and I find that very valuable. My kids were involved. My kids are all adults. I mean, at one point, like I show this all the time, right? Take the damn trade, right? This is a hard acrylic. This is a hard sign that my son made this for me and gave it to me at Christmas one year because I was using him as a trading accountability partner at one point when he was schooling and working or living at home here. I would have him come up and say, Peter, are you doing the right things? Are you trading smart? Are you taking the trade? And I asked him, come up every half an hour and ask me those questions so I could stay focused. And out of that, he said, hey, Dad, I'm going to get you this. And I love it. It sits on my desk all the time. And it's a good reminder of, what I need to do and what I need to focus on. So instead of my, the office desk name tag you would put there, this is my trading one. So
Yeah,
I
that's a
enjoy
good
that. So
point.
yeah, I've gotten people involved in my trading and, to different levels. My girls don't care as much, but they know what I do. So
No, that's great. It's like the role of family is extremely important because this
it
is what
is.
you're doing is you're entering this very difficult career because you probably want to support family around you, and
Well,
you're risking the money that belongs to them as well. So,
yeah.
um,
And that's a great point. Remember, just a minute ago, Andrew, you asked me about my three criteria of when it's time to stop. And I mentioned you got the funding, do you enjoy it? And are you making progress? Part of that tacit, statement underneath it is the role of the family in that. Because, if you're an individual, you can make decisions, as you know, on your life, and there's nobody to, you're not accountable to anybody. But if you are in a relationship, if you have a family, frankly, you're accountable to those individuals, right? Like, and you need to involve them in the process one way or another. So if you're risking, again, your ability to pay the mortgage as a family or a couple, then frankly, they're involved. Right? Whether you want them to be or not. And you need to acknowledge that. And that has to go into your decision matrix. And that maybe your enjoyment is less of trading because frankly it's causing stress on a relationship or an environment, or so it's absolutely important, and it's one of those understated things. We talk about psychology all the time, and that goes to some of the underpinnings of your psychology, right? Are you able to focus on the markets without the burden of life on every trade? And we in a lot of our webinars, Andrew, we talk about this, as you well know, where we say, like, if you take every trade thinking, boy, I need this one to pay the bills, I can't buy groceries if this trade doesn't win, you're not going to trade that properly, right? You're going to be trading with a lot of burden that is probably not going to allow you to see the markets effectively and trade your strategy the way you probably want to. And how many of us have gone back at the end of a day and looked at our trades and like, what the heck was I thinking? Why did I even take that? That's just a ridiculous trade. Usually it's those type of intrusive thoughts, or that burden of your life that's weighing on top of it, that you haven't figured out yet how to manage.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like the overall, I think having a family is very, very important. Like, community, we're very family oriented. And like now that I'm single, for the last couple of years, I've been very reckless in trading and in life as well. Like, do take some extreme risks. And when you have someone that, cares for you and you care for them, it brings a level of stability and, good direction in your life. But really, really, I believe in that. But I'm also a very big advocate of part-time trading. Having said all of this stuff, we have access to the technology, work from home, the time zone is most of the jobs are now flexible. That a lot of people coming to me and they say, okay, I quit my job, I'm ready, or I got laid off, I want to become a full-time trader. And I said, no, don't do that. Like, it's a part-time trading, like a couple of hours a day, that's it. It's not one of those jobs that if you push it harder, you get the result faster. You need some time for that.
Yeah. There's a question earlier that I like to go back to. I think it was Art here that was asking, what is the social value of trading? I always like that question. It's funny because it felt like it used to come up a lot more than it does now, as trading has become a little more part of mainstream. I you know and here's, look, my view and answer to that would be, I think if people are worried about that, you may be focusing on the wrong thing. Like, what's the social value of Wall Street? What's the social value of working in an office and pushing paper back and forth? Indirectly, you can provide, you can say there's social value in those other things that I've mentioned. Indirectly, in trading, we provide liquidity to the markets, right? We help with order flow and market mobility. But frankly, that's a secondary, if not maybe a tertiary value. The reality is social value comes from the individual. And I like to look at, Andrew, what's the social value in trading that Andrew brings? He is giving back. He's creating a better community. He's helping all of us achieve things that we want to in our lives through the tools that he's enabling, this chat room and the environment. All of the stuff that he's built is an enabling factor. That's his giving back to the community. In my case, I like to volunteer. Mental health and educational charities are where I spend my time. I'm on a number of boards. So, trading gives me the ability to not only donate money, but donate my time to those causes. So the social value in anything you do is incumbent upon you to find and deliver it. That's my honest answer, and I'd like you to take that to heart. So make as much money as you can trading, and then use that money to do good in the world.
No, I agree with you 100%. Like for me, the meaning of in my life is coming from building something together with the community. And you as the member also can join a community. It doesn't have to be us. Join a community, try to help other people. Like helping other people is very, very important. Like gives you a feeling of satisfaction deep in your soul. And yeah, like helping other traders, even and in the chat room, we have answering questions. Like we have so many, like Gonzalo is a great trader, Ed, Will, they're answering questions like, hey, how do I do this hotkey? And you don't have to answer it, nobody is expecting you to do that, but people go well beyond answering these simple questions. But hey, you can just use this hotkey or that kind of thing. These are really, really amazing. Like you can create a meaning as a member within the community as well. You don't have to be a mod or owner of the community or leader of the community. Like Dwayne, for example, I've never met Dwayne in person. Recently joined us. Carlos mentioned that to me, that Dwayne has been coming to the onboarding sessions like for almost years. like to answering the questions. Like he doesn't get paid or anything, Dwayne. He still doesn't, but he's just there. Like he's a retired military person also as well that comes and say, I'm gonna help other people because helping other people, helping myself to be a better person and a better trader. And that's why I reached out to a Dwayne, and I'm looking forward to see him hopefully soon. But that's very important. I know Thor is here, and so I'm going to hand it over to Thor with his beautiful glasses. And thanks, Peter, for the conversation, sharing these
All
stories,
right.
and looking forward to see you. And all the best, guys. So hand it over to Thor in the YouTube, and Paris and Gary are coming in the chat room.
Well, thanks everybody, and thanks for all the positive feedback we've gotten. Yeah, it was a great little impromptu interview session. Awesome. All right, Thor, take it away, buddy.
Hey, thank you so much. So good. Hey, everybody out there in YouTube land, good to see you all. Make sure to like, share, all that stuff. Special love to our Garbage Truck and Lambos members. It's good to see you. And yes, I am wearing my smart glasses. These actually are they're Iron Man glasses. So what they're doing is they're actually projecting stock tickers on the inside of my glasses now. So if all of a sudden the price action, I can read the tape right here. In this little area right here, I have an NQ chart that's actually this is a complete fabrication, by the way. None of that is happening. This is like a $10 pair of blue light glasses or whatever. So I was an IT person for well over a decade. Had spent less time in front of a computer than I do now that I work teaching people how to stock trade. But before I get into before we kind of get into the day and we can do some Q&A stuff and whatever, just talk about what you want to talk about. It's all good. I wanted to kind of piggyback on the back of what Andrew was saying there. And the thing I always remind my mentees of is that this is not a paycheck job, right? See, a lot of you have this thing in your head, and it's a fantasy, right? And it's never going to happen. So you need to fix this. Dr. V only comes in on Wednesdays, bunch of styles. Hey, bunch of styles. I think it would be better if Dr. V was here every single day from 11 to 12 as well. But she's here every single Wednesday. So make sure you're here on Wednesdays. That's all the time I could get her to commit, unfortunately. But I know it's, boring being just this guy. So, and I don't blame you. I know she is. She really is. So, hey, what's up, Gonzalo? How are you doing, buddy? So anyway, I want to make sure we don't treat this job like a paycheck job, right? That's the concept here, right? We don't want to treat this job like a paycheck job. Think about this more like being a real estate person. I definitely think there's a point where you're going to get to where you're going to, oh, thank you, everybody. You're so sweet. I definitely think there is going to be a point where anyone can get to what we would consider to be replacement income. I definitely think it's doable, right? But it's never going to come like every single day I make $200. Every single day I make $300. Every single day no, you're going to have like 4 red days. And then you're going to have like 2 or 3 green days. And then you're going to go red, green, red, green, red, green. Right? And then you're going to go a whole bunch of green days and then a whole bunch of red days. Right? But what's going to be important is what happened over the course of the week, the month, and the year. And you need to start thinking about that way, right? If you're a sale, it's kind of like being in sales or real estate. It's going to be seasonal. You're going to have days, weeks, months where you make the vast majority of your profit. So one of the things many of you don't know, has anyone ever spoke with anybody from SMB Capital, for instance? If you have a chance to talk with somebody from SMB, what you'll realize is the vast majority of their big earners, they don't make money every day. Actually, they don't make much money almost any days. The vast majority of firm profit comes from 1 or 2 days out of every 3 months. Hear me on this, right? It's all about risk mitigation. They have a very specific system they use. They have a way they tier, and they go through and they build their trades, and then they get stopped out, and then they build and they build and they get stopped out. And it doesn't work very often. But when it works, because they have such an aggressive building and tiering style, right, that when it works, they can make millions of dollars in a single day. Right. So this is why and they're using very high share volume on very tight spreads. Right. Mike Bellafiore is one of the most spectacular tape readers you would ever meet in your entire life. The dude is like, I don't know, he's superhuman when it comes to tape reading. I've never seen anything like it. And this is someone on the spectrum talking. I understand fast neuroprocessing, don't get me wrong. The way this dude can read the tape it's insane. Like, I mean, I've never seen anything like it. Like Paris is probably one of the next better tape readers I know. But I mean, but Bellafiore is just, I don't know. It's crazy. But almost all of the members of SMB are highly trained on reading the tape. You know what I mean? So you have to be, yeah, that's true. Ross Cameron is killer at tape reading too, Dave. You're 100% right there. So we have to kind of keep focused on that as we're going through this, right? You're going to have days you lose. You're going to have days you win. And they're not going to be even. It's not going to be 50-50, right? You make more money, right? So think of it this way, right? If you lose 4 trades, each one's 1R, one trade's a winner, right, is 4R. You only need 1 trade to offset 4 trades. So if you go through, let's say you only take 1 or 2 trades a day, if you went through 6 or 7 losing days, you probably only rack up about, maybe 10 to 14 losing trades, right? Which ends up being maybe 10 to 14R if you're controlling your risk really well. But then all of a sudden you come back the next day, and within 2 or 3 days, you hit 4 or 5 trades, right? You're now up 20R, right? And all you had to do was hit the imbalance, right? You just had, so this game isn't about hit rates. It's not about how many times you can take trades. High frequency trading and high volume trading is for people with really, really big accounts, right? Like if you can leverage, like if you've got a 7-figure account or the equivalent in leverage, right? Then, because you really should never expect to make, in my humble opinion, right? IMHO, right? I would never expect for any, exactly. I agree about that, Shiraz, on Ross Cameron's strategy, right? You really should never expect more than like 1% out of your account, right? So if you've only got a 20, even without PDT, let's imagine they get rid of PDT. Does getting rid of PDT even help you? I think this is an interesting question that the market should really be paying attention to right now, right? Sure, you can trade now with less money. So what? You don't have leverage. Without leverage, you can't make money. You're only expecting to make, as a day trader, at best, an average of 1% on your account. So if you've only got a $5,000 account, anybody in the chat room, can you help me out with the math? What's 1% of 5 grand? It's not a lot. It's $50. I know. I want to make sure I wasn't the only one who could subtract 2 zeros. Yeah, it's $50, right? So that means if you've got a $5,000 account, you should only really expect to make $50 a day. Is anybody in here making replacement income with $50 a day? No, you're not, right? So you will make more money flipping burgers, okay, than you will stock trading with a $5,000 account, right? And so if you go and you decide, hey, I'm going to leverage, right, and trade options or do something like that, you're just going to increase your risk metric and get through that 5,000 faster. I know of an incredibly small number of people who have turned a $5,000 account into an incredibly large account quickly, right? So Marcus, you're in the category I'm talking about, right? If you have a larger account, you don't have to worry about the leverage, right? So a 5,000 yeah, I would never expect an account to make 5%, right? So now, Humberto, things also really start to change a little bit too as you get bigger, right? I think in order to make 5%, you're going to have to leverage a lot more of your account. You're talking about 10% on your, if you're making 5%, you're leveraging a lot more, right? I don't think a 5,000 will make 250 that easily. But wrong. Stop judging other traders' accounts. What do you mean stop judging other traders' account? Life without grass? Is that from I know a lot of people, and I've coached hundreds of people, right? I mean, I've helped lots of traders learn how to do this thing. I'm just telling you, I don't know. 250 on 5 is going to be pretty hard pull. You got to be, and I think if you have a really, I think you would be a really, really awesome trader. Can I say it this way? Let's say it this way, maybe. Maybe Starlight can back me here. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I'm saying the vast majority of us can't pull that off. I do not believe I could make $250 a day on a $5,000 account. You know what I mean? I don't think I could do it. So I'm only going to talk about things I think I could pull off, right? And by no means, I'm not the echelon here. I'm just a normal dude, right? I grew up in a trailer, right? Farming and stuff. You know what I mean? I think there's ways to do it. I just think you're going to expect yourself to be in the higher tier, right? And I think if you're in a higher tier, you're going to have more than $5,000. You know what I'm saying? Like I just don't think at that level, right? Like if you're that good, you're going to have more than $5,000. The vast majority of people who have $5,000 who are going to be looking to trade with $5,000 will not be competent enough in the industry to trade that amount of money and make money. You get more wiggle room with a bigger account, right? You get more wiggle with a bigger account, right? You can do more, right? You can make a lot more mistakes with a bigger account. You don't have to be as precise, right? A lot of the really large accounts that you follow, especially in social media, the trading is not nearly as accurate as you're going to need to be, right? There are tolerances in trading that other accounts can handle that your account won't be able to handle, right? Like if you're trading $50 risk, you can and you have a certain number of shares, you only have a certain pullback distance you can take, right? But if you're trading $500 risk, you could basically take all the pullback, right? Because depending on the number of shares you take, you're never going to be outside your risk metric, right? So I do think it can be done, Life. I'm definitely not gonna like say it can't be done. I'm speaking on my experience to what I've seen out of the vast majority of people, right? So like Andrew, bunch of styles. I think what you're saying there is 100% right, right? Andrew, when I started trading back in the end of 2017, Andrew in that day was a different trader than Andrew is today. Andrew was also not making 20K in a single day then either, right? When I started, Andrew was making $600 to $700 a day, right? He had a very specific way. He traded a very specific strategy. He never varied from it because he really didn't have the tolerance. But now that he's got the experience he has, right, and he has the ability to do the things he has the ability to do, it's just a completely different game. So for those of you who are looking to kind of like, get around that, right, this is where the funded accounts can be very, very helpful, right? Or if you are going to use a $5,000 account, just make sure it's money you don't need. You know what I mean? We call it account crippling. You know what I mean? If you put 5,000 in there and it's money you don't need, I'm okay. If it's the last $5,000 that you have to your name and you're going to stick it in there and you're going to get rocking and rolling with it, don't do that. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to go well. So, oh, I like it. So a bunch of styles has, this was the method my great grandmother used actually. My family has very much to thank for my great grandmother who decided marrying older rich husbands. Very good idea. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is outlast a couple of them. Right? Just saying. Just saying. Anyway, just saying. Yeah, get a rich husband, grab his cash, and start day trading. I don't know what happened, hun. I don't know. That is a gold digger. Oh. Huh. If it works. You know what I'm saying? I don't get mad at people for doing what people do. You know what I'm saying? And plus, not for mention the old guy, he's gonna know. He knew. He knew. He knew. He didn't care. He was gonna die. He was gonna die anyway. You know what I mean? He's like, hey, who am I gonna leave it to? My kids? No, I'll leave it to my kids. I'll leave it to her. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's entirely appropriate. I mean, inappropriate. Oh my gosh. So anyway, I think, do I recommend trading options? So I think you should trade options not because you have a small account. I think you should trade options, right? If you know, like, and are passionate about options. You know what I mean? Like when you have JT from Spot Gamma in here, or you talk to Jared about it, or you talk to Megan in some, regards. They're very quite passionate about them. They like the options market, they understand it, that makes sense, they know how to use the leverage. Do it. I wouldn't just do it because you have a small account. Like, not everyone's going to resonate with options. Anybody else not resonate with options? Right? This guy. You know, I mean, I just can't do it. For me, options, I don't know why. Every time I've tried, I've read the books. I worked technical support for an options trading platform. Like, I understand options. Like, I know what happens at the different stuff. But it was like the other day, we had JT on. Yeah, did y'all see here where I flipped Nathan on to the lead screen while JT was presenting on Tuesday? And then it was Nathan, right? That's because I didn't want to see you guys to see me looking like this. Ready? Ready? Here you go. This is me. Like, I had no idea, right? I'm just like, okay. Like, I was just gone. Like, my ADHD was a little triggered too. You know what I mean? Like, I got this ADHD thing. I don't know if you guys have ADHD. I have ADHD. Wow. So I was like, that happened, and then all of a sudden there was like the lawnmower started going outside. You know what I mean? I started thinking about some other stuff I had to do today. There was like a battery over here, so I'm like, oh, cool, oh, battery. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, ooh, another battery. Why do I have two batteries on my desk? This is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, it was just, oh yeah, options. You know what I mean? Like, I was just so done. You know. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just like out of it. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. So anyway, sorry. Um, anyway, so all right. So no, CK, that's why I'm so boring. I got no trades today. The only alerts I had, well, I liked platinum, and I took a swing at it, but I cut it because the order book ended up being too like bullish, and then nothing else that came out I like. So I'm literally on a zero trade day. So that's why I'm in here just kind of like, half comedy hour in here. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, I don't have anyone to bring on to present, and probably won't do that for a while. So, what do I think about Apple? Let's look. I'll look at anything you want, Anya. How are you today, by the way, Anya? Don't forget, a little shout out for a couple of things. One, garbage trucks and Lambos. Oh, hold on. We don't see my screen. There we go. So, so for anyone, just a reminder, ooh, a little VPA session. I could do a little VPA. Let's see if I can get what can I get for VPA? I like VPA idea. That sounds fun. I just did a VPA presentation actually for Bear Bull Traders, and I had 3 people who told me directly afterwards that it changed their entire lives for the better. No, I'm just kidding. I think we could talk VPA. Let's would you like to please look at Pietro? Let's look at a couple tickers, and then I can talk some VPA. So right now, Apple, I will be in Orlando this weekend. So this weekend is the Money Show in Orlando, and I'll be presenting around like 12:45. So I would definitely, if you're in the Orlando area, I'm going to be out there Friday night, and I'm going to be there all day Saturday. So anybody who wants to hang, chat, some of my best friends are going to be there. So my buddy Mark's going to be there. The real Mark Douglas. Nathan is flying in. My buddy Mike J is coming out. So we're going to have a lot of like people hanging and having a good time. So we'll probably like do like a little quasi get together. Maybe we can like organize a lunch or a dinner or something. We'll just do it all on the fly, whoever we can bump into. And then it's just going to be fun. I'm presenting on basically just becoming a day trader, kind of like the journey there. And so it should be a pretty fun time. I'm also, to throw on your calendar as well, I'm also booked in now for presenting on the Money Show in Vegas. And that's going to be in February. And Andrew and Nathan are both going to be at that one. And I think we're going to do a live trading session there. So I would keep that on. Ooh, oh, look at Apple. Hold on. Apple's getting a volume signal right now. So let's talk VPA right now while we're looking at Apple. Let's put it together. So VPA is volume and price analysis, right? So volume and price analysis is very much like candlestick reading, except you apply volume to the candle formation. So you can kind of tell the difference between varied candles. So let me give you an example of kind of what this looks like. If I can get it to open. There you are. So when you're looking at candles, one of the things that's really important when you're looking at candle formations, right, is that volume, right, is what tells you if the candle, like what its like intent or its purpose is and how its response is. So like this candle here, a lot of this candle you'd recognize as being a hammer candle, right? But a hammer candle on low volume is a validation candle. A hammer candle on high volume can be a reversal signal, right? So just by looking at where and how the volume is applied, the same candle in either position can have a completely different meaning, right? And then any one of these candles on average volume is basically continuation, right? So by this is kind of like reading sheet music, right? You can start to look in between like the lines and actually see what's happening. So notice here on Apple, I said we were getting a lot of selling coming in. How did I know we were getting selling coming in? And it was a lot of it because I use these candles here. These candles here are called ghost candles. They're an invention actually of mine. And basically what they do is they put volume inside the candle, right? So the darker the candle, the higher the volume. So you can see here as we broke this low, we brought in a significant amount of selling. And you can see here the buying and selling detector, or as we like to call the BS detector, right? You can see we actually crossed from buying through into selling. So now all of my indicators here are starting to say we're selling. And actually Apple, I like for a short quite a bit, although we're at S3. So now the problem is we're at S3, but we're selling too much for a buy. And we opened a little too low. So this for me is one of those moments where you might think for a buy, but actually for me, it doesn't look like it's ready to buy. It looks like it's selling. So this would be a good reason for me. I wouldn't take Apple, right? But if you're a momentum trader, this looks like it's going to sell. Right? So if you wanted to long, right? Because now this is a range where we could long, and it could set up as a long, right? So if you were going to, we'd sit here and we could watch, and we would have to watch for a signal to show us that we've started buying. And then once we've started buying, we could buy. But right now we're not buying. We're selling on the session and we're selling on the short term. So see, we're still moving down. So this indicator down here, the buy-sell detector, is basically, this is a VPA indicator, a real-time VPA indicator, or, as real-time as you can get. So this one I'm going to release pretty soon. I'm hoping within the next week, we're going to release this one. HA is the play that's available. So, but see what I mean here? It still looks like we're selling. And we have this large order to the top side, but right now our ladder is a little bit better to the downside. So I think release the Kraken. I know, right? All right, so let's watch here and see how we didn't really start buying there at all. This still looks like an advance to the downside. Yep. So you can see kind of how that works, right? Isn't that fun? So higher, wider range, true, but we're not buying. If you're going to buy, you need it to buy. And if you're having trouble reading price action, this thing's going to help you a whole lot. It's fun. Wow. All right. The NQ is selling. All right, so let's keep up with the VPA. So I have the cam alerts have been very, very lean today. So everything opened in really weird spots. The ATR is really is adaptive ATR limits, also ours. Let's look at PLTR and we can talk more volume while we're doing it. So Pig, it's really hard to kind of explain what it, right now PLTR actually looks a bit bearish. We're squeezing away though, but it looks like we're going to go down. So notice here as we're moving down, you can see how here we go. So look, as we came off of R4, we had high volume, but so VPA chat, ready? Let's start talking VPA. So you can see here, we have an indecision candle, and then we sold off. But this sell was not strong. See how light the candles are? Right? This wasn't very strong. Here we go. We're going to start selling. Watch this. Back to this bid. Now we rallied, and as we rallied, our volume died. Right? And then we sold again. This time, but it moved very quickly. So that's very interesting. But as we come back up, look, we get large buys. But now this is the first signal that we're going to sell off. Why are these large buys a signal that we're going to sell off? What's wrong with these large buys? Everybody in the room, my VPA people. What is wrong with these buys? Here, here, and here. This one moves this far, and it uses a pretty decent amount of volume. This one moves a smaller distance and uses the same amount of volume. That's absorption. This one throws a lot of volume and can only move the same distance. Right? So we're getting a lot of buying, but when we buy a lot, we don't go up. And when we buy less, we're giving up price. So they're moving to an order that's sitting right up here. Right? So it's a VPA anomaly. So once we make that roll, you're short there, and you can get your stop really anywhere up here. And then look, yoink. So remember we said there was that big order to the top side on PLTR, and look what it decided to go and get. It went up and got to it. So all stock trading really is we're just ping-ponging between large orders. But the specialist doesn't do the movement, we do. Right? So if you pay attention to which direction the specialist is moving the price based on market orders, you get a pretty good idea of which direction we're going. Like right here, you can actually see these buys orders. Look at this real quick. It looks like there we go. See how they're putting these buy orders up here? So they're filling an order right here under 182, but look how they all stopped in one spot. They didn't move the price up. They all stopped in one spot. Now look how these buy orders are dropping. Right? That's distributionary behavior. Right? Anytime someone's buying on market orders, the specialist is offloading into those market orders. Right? They're not really letting them move up the book very well. So now you're looking to see if ideally they're going to go maybe tag this order, and then they'll bring an order into the downside and then run down if they tag this order at all. That's a lot of distributionary behavior. But we'll see what they do. So far they've just started moving up a little better, but I don't know. Always, Brian. It's always up to their tricks. Right? So I want to show you guys kind of how this works. This is very, very, all right. I apologize for anyone who's newer to the channel. This is extremely advanced. All right. So so if this goes over a little bit, don't worry about it. Okay. So when we're talking about specialists and we're talking about market making, and we're talking about this thing called the float. Right? We're talking about the float. What exactly is the float? The float is the number of shares that are outstanding in the market, right? So shares that are not in someone's account, right? So of the float, the primary of the float is held by specialists. Specialists are stock traders just like you are, just like I am. The difference is they have a different type of account. They actually have an account that's classified in a way that allows them to hold shares without including them as an investment, right? So they can hold shares without committing them to a portfolio, which leaves them in the quote unquote float. So the vast majority of the float that is available is generically the amount of shares that are being held by our specialists. So this is why we tend to focus on stocks that have a relatively high float, because high float means when you make a request, you're going to get that request answered very quickly, right? High float, high caps, which like NVIDIA, you know, Apple, AMD, Tesla, right? These, you know, the meme stocks, these all pop into what we call a high float, mostly high cap, right? So what this means is anytime you hit the buy or the sell button, there's a specialist that's either willing to buy or willing to sell, right? Now, in the instance of a low float, this is dramatically different, right? This is where a lot of people get messed up in low floats. Why? Because you end up in a low float, you end up going, getting into the position, and then a really giant buy order comes in, and then all of a sudden the price rips against you if you're short, right? Well, why did it go against me so far? Because there's no float, right? Which means none of the specialists are holding it. So when the buy order came in, all of the buys had to go to the DOM, which is our depth of market or our order book, right? And this squeezes it up. Right? Market makers can make money by speculating, but that's not their job, right? What market makers do is they move. Market makers are going to move. Let me draw an example. Let's say there's a really large order here and a really large order here. It's the market maker's job, because the market makers are concerned with institutional movement. They're not concerned with retail movement, although they handle retail movement. They have to, right? But they want to get up here and transact this big order. They want to get down here and transact this order. So let's say the specialists, and I'm going to include all the specialists in this. Let's say between all of our varied specialists, we're carrying 50 million float, right? If we want to go up, oops, I almost pulled my cable off. If we want to go up, the way we go up and we go down is the specialist manipulates the float. So think about it this way. Ooh, new analogy. Anybody ready for a brand new analogy I've never thought of before, and it just popped in ADHD style? Ballast. Think about it like ballast in like a submarine. Everyone here understand how ballast works? Right? When a submarine wants to go up and down through the water, you know, when they want to dive, they release air, right? And it makes it heavier. If they want to go up, right, they actually have to drive up really fast and then get up and take on air and then float, right? The float is the float, right? The more float there is, the higher we float, right? The less float there is, the lower we sink. Right now, we go up on low float, don't get me wrong, but the way in high cap, high floats, remember low floats, I'm not talking about low floats. This is why low floats are a completely different beast. They trade entirely different than high cap, high floats. This is why if you want to trade low floats, I would recommend trading with people who trade low floats because it's just completely different. Very scary. And plus, there really are no good trading low floats anymore on a regular day. I don't know if anybody could just be like a low float trader anymore. There was a time period, maybe back in, it was like 2015 through 2020, there were low floats every other day, just crazy, crazy things happening all the time. That doesn't happen anymore. The market figured out how to put them under control. And it just doesn't really happen that much. So this is really how it happens most of the time. So if we want to go up to this order, right? So let's say we have sellers and we have buyers. If the market maker or the specialists want to go up, then anytime somebody sells, the market maker is going to fulfill that sell from the float, right? So they're going to buy, and the float is going to increase. Everybody with me on that? So if the market makers or the specialists want the price to go up, anytime somebody sells, they're going to fulfill those sell orders by buying them and adding them into the float, right? So our float will start increasing 50 million, 51 million, 52 million, 53 million, and we will start advancing up towards the price. Now, how do we advance up the price? Well, we advance up the price because what happens is they take any buy orders that come in and they send them to the order book, right? So all of our limits that are to the top side, they use the market buys to fill the limit orders to the top side, and this floats the barge to the top side, right? It removes orders from the top side, which creates a vacuum, and then the float fills the vacuum. And that allows the market maker to move massive amounts of share volume from down here to up here with very little effort on their own, right? They use retail and proprietary and institutional trading, right, in order to encourage and move the price between these large orders. If a market maker wants to go down, they do the exact opposite, right? So anytime there's buying and selling, if they want to go down, anytime people buy, they will distribute into the buying, which will lower the float. It'll make the ship heavier, right? Anytime someone sells, they'll take the sell orders and throw them down the DOM, right? And this sinks it. Now, this is what's going on right now. Look here on PLTR. Anytime there's large orders, right, they're offloading into the large orders. Smaller candles with topside wicks. Anytime we got green, right? Anytime we have red, look, they're throwing them to the downside of the book. So we're moving down way faster than we're moving up, right? And this is why, because the specialists are allowing us to move towards. Now, what are we moving towards, right? Let's find out. Look, boom, 180, 179.60. Right? It's not that complicated. Once you learn how to understand these basic principles, understanding the potential for directional movement is not overtly complicated. Right? We have large orders to the downside. We are selling. Where are we selling? To the large orders. Right? Look to the top side. Look how empty the order book is above right now. No ladder in between the larger orders that are there. If they want to rally, they're going to need to tier orders in first. So right now, this looks very bearish, and we're selling very well. Look at how now this will be a VPA moment here. Look at the selling. See how aggressive and strong the selling is, but look at this candle here. This was a very strong candle to the downside, engulfing, but it's a lot of volume, maybe too much volume. Right? So we got stuck there. So I would not be surprised to see a fair value offering here. Right? So that means we pushed down and we found a large order here. We're going to pull the price back up to try and entice some more sellers. Right? So we're going to pull back. You're talking normally 33 to 50% retracement, right? Think Fibonacci. Look where we pulled back to, right to the bottom third of the candle. Right? So now they're trying to entice more selling. They need more selling to hit these orders. And look what we don't have right now. Right? We don't have enough selling. Right? Not enough market orders. So they're gonna let the barge sit here for a second. And anytime someone buys, they're gonna let those go to the DOM just to get a little bit of a higher positioning. And then they'll start distributing into the buyers. Once the buyers stop buying, they'll flush down into the bid again. So you can see here they distributed there, distributed there. So, but they're not getting enough big sell volume. That's all they're waiting for. The algorithm's just waiting for a large. There's one. Oh, that was interesting. They didn't use it to go to the book though. There must have been there's actually a good size order that they have under it at 180.40. And it seems to be a bit of an iceberg. So we have a iceberg block like here, and here probably. So these are institutional traders that are front running this large bid at 180. But we have no order structure to the top side. So this still looks very heavy. Big bid to the downside. Rally was absorbed. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. See what I mean? See what I mean? But if you understand how this works, then you don't get freaked out, right? When this pulled back, your heart's going to jump a little bit. I wouldn't have, you know what I mean? Because you see the bid to the downside and you can see the weak volume. As we look at the buying and selling indicator, when we did that pullback, look, it didn't even lift the detector's indicator. Like it did not see any volume there that it thought was a concern. It's still a hard sell. This is why this indicator was built. It took what I've taken what I can see and threw it into this thing, and it's amazing. But look at the volume there. Look at that. That's how we do that. Whatever. Beautiful. It's just like the level 2, Throne. This is just level 2. It's all the same thing. This is just a visual DOM. Level 2 is a DOM, depth of market, right? The Atlas is a DOM. It's just a visual DOM, right? So like if you're using DOS, if you use the order highlight feature in DOS, for instance, and highlight any order that's larger than like for instance, if you're looking at PLTR, highlight any order that's larger than maybe 10 lot, you know what I mean? Or these might be lot, actually. Nah, I don't think these are a lot. That's a lot of shares. So look at how we're squeezing right in front of the large order at 179.60, right? We're going to offer the top side of 180, right? The other direction, right? Because we sold through the order at 180. So now we're going to come back up to 180 and see, can we do more? Do we want to do this again? Right? So I would expect us not to rally back through 180. If we rally back through 180, I don't see really any place for this to go. But so right now it looks like, again, they're just reoffering to the sellers to see if they can entice some more selling, right? So there's a really big difference when you're trading, right, between buying and offering. Right now, this looks like we're offering to the sellers before we sell more, right? This doesn't look like buying, even though this was technically a buy, right? This looks like we're offering to the sellers so we can sell more. I'll let you know if it starts to look like buying, but right now this cleanly still looks like selling to me. Bunch of styles. You enjoying? I'm glad to hear that. Everybody, make sure you subscribe. If you really enjoy one of the sessions or you really like it, please feel free to send like an email to Andrew or team at Bearable Traders or one of those. And brag on your YouTube peeps that come in, me, Dr. V, Nathan, you know what I mean? Anything you can do to kind of make us look good to the boss. I'm just saying, flattery gets you everywhere. And always, I'm always trying to, I'm always trying to generate, good content for y'all and show you, relevant material. I am the funny one, I think, bunch of styles. That's always been true, though. You can hardly imagine I was a class clown. Here we go. Look at him. We're going to go hit that bid now. See what I'm saying? See exactly what I meant about how they did that? Look at that. Rolling still negative. Right? So right now, we're just moving down the bid. Right? Here's another one. It's 179. So, we got a level here. What's this level? Oh, we're at the CP. So we, you can see here, like, again, look at the order book, how lean it's staying to the top side. Right? So these are the things, if you start looking for a reversal, by the way, you're going to want a book flip. Now, when I say a book flip, what does that mean? You're going to see the way this looks to the downside? You're going to want it to look like that to the upside. Like anything else you're playing is just a fade. You know what I mean? You're just going to fade away from this bid, right? So unless you start seeing orders tearing in, You know what I mean? Oh, here we go. Look at this. All right, little bit of a change. Let's see what happens here. How much, if this sustains, right? So you can see, look how they let the buys go to the order book that time. See how the buy orders moved us up? Boom. All right, we just brought in an order there. That's a shift in the book. Look how they're bringing in orders to the top side now. Bam, 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 bam. Look at the orders coming into the top side. Look at the volume coming in. We're actually lifting too. Look at the indicator. So this is real buying, right? This is we had 2 buy candles, a sell, and then a responsive buying. Our best potential is still this big 179 order though. So I'm not completely convinced, but they found a buyer at the CP, right? No doubt about it. They found a buyer at the CP. Look at the response. Here's the orders. Right? So when you take VPA and you combine book reading, right, which we're using Atlas here, Atlas should have futures hopefully within the next couple of months. I think they're like hammering out the hard contracts and stuff like that. I don't think you can do options chains on this one. But I couldn't do options either way, Bunch. Yeah, same logic for futures. The only logic it doesn't apply for, Lucian, is low floats. Low floats, although they're an equity, are a completely different beast. They're complete, not no futures, just futures soon. No futures right now. We don't have futures in Atlas because they're still working on the data stuff. As far as I know, Nicola, as far as I know, we got them coming. We just had an update that came out today, actually. For those of you who didn't notice, they made an adjustment now. So your config hides. They removed one of the config settings that wasn't necessary. Nobody used it. And now when you fill in your symbols, it actually remembers your most recent symbols. So yeah, you can get this tool as well as many other tools. Oh, you can get this tool as well as many other premium tools like scanners, simulators, replays, live squawk, Atlas, and all premium courses for $99 a month at tradingterminal.com/GoPro. Anyway, so oh yeah, I should have had the glasses on when I did it. It should have been like, welcome to Disney. You know, it's real story, real quick. Sorry, ADHD. Look, selling again towards a big order. Real ADHD moment. A good friend of mine when I was growing up, I was very, very lucky. My private mentor for music when I was growing up, her name was Valerie Gillespie, and she was amazing, and she was highly connected into the Disney scene and all that because she's a professional musician. She was a professor on staff at USF, as well as she played for Disney and like a lot of their groups and all this kind of stuff, right? So, but because of her, I ended up getting to meet this really interesting guy named Kevin Miles, and I used to babysit his son. When I was like 14, 15, I was babysitting his 7 and his 8-year-olds. Now, Kevin Miles, you wouldn't know his name ever unless you went to Walt Disney World. If you go to Disney World in Florida, as soon as you walk through the gates, you hear, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Walt Disney World. And that is Kevin Miles' voice. It's always kind of cool. Whenever I walk into the park, I'm like, I used to babysit that guy's kid. Still the same recording they've been using since that time. But it's pretty cool. So if we ever have a Disney party out there, I'm totally hooked in. I know like two of my best friends like sing for the Voices of Liberty. and stuff like that. So I used to be a musician, classically trained. I'm a bassoon player. So you should. Bunch of styles. I think you should just start talking like that at all times, actually. I'm going to go, next time I order Chinese takeout, I'm ordering it that way. I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm like, yes, I would like some Mugu Gai Pan. Right? You know, I mean, we just like load it in there. Oh my God. The would just be like, what is even happening today? Oh, oh well. At least I amuse myself. Still selling. Still bearish. We squeezed a little bit, right? We keep front running this order. How do we make options more fun? Get rid of them. Like entirely. Like just, I think that's the best way to make them fun. Like personally. I don't know about options are tough, man. Options got so many options. Like for me, like futures are the way. I love me some futures. They're great, but equities, I mean, it's just so easy. Like just don't complicate it. Like once you get used to it and you start to learn like what I've been telling you, like if you haven't been short in PLTR, I've literally told you this thing has been short this entire time. Like I'm just sitting here telling you like it's a short, we're going here. We're going here. Like buy a pullback already. Or sell a pullback, I guess I should say. Short a pullback already. Like help me out. You know what I'm saying? Like this thing, it's once you get used to this and you learn how this works, just incentivize yourself with range. You know, this is why I use cams, right? If I was going to short PLTR, R3 or R4, hit either one of them. R4, my God. I mean, let's go. I mean, it's not perfect according to the system, but I mean, if you hit the right range, once it's selling, I mean, you guys see my, like, look at this AMD trade. I'll close out with showing you guys this. This is an AMD trade I took on Wednesday. Oh, here's a Microsoft one I took yesterday. And here's the AMD one. It's not that complicated. I mean, it is, but it isn't. Like once you once I got in, I was in. I was done. All the way to PDC. Right? Amazing profit. I hit within a couple of couple like a buck of the top. Right? After I don't have the chart after this, it bounced off of like 214.50 and squeezed all the way back to 219. So I basically top ticked and bottom ticked the entire thing. Yep, this one was called. So same thing with this Microsoft trade. I lost the first one, right? I went short. It came back. It stopped me. Came back in, re-signaled. So I shorted. Again, stop above the high. All I do is short, stick my stop above the high. Stopped out, short, stop above the high. Came back up to the high. No break evens, by the way. And then boom, S3. Right? This is this week I've been on $300 risk per trade. So I mean, not bad, right? I mean, it's you take one loss here and then one wins, 1,200. It washes out pretty nicely. PL trade I cut. That thing looked ugly. It started to sell in my way a little bit, Bashan, and then the order book came out, and I was like, this is the wrong range for this. And I've been having a lot of trouble with PL in the open, so I got rid of it. I'm on a zero trader. It's just not happening. So PLTR still selling. All right, everybody. Well, it's Thursday. I hope everybody enjoyed the session today. Don't forget, BBT members, Thursday night mentoring with me every single Thursday night. So if you have a question, you want to do trade reviewing, anything you've got going on, you want to talk to me about, come behind the paywall. We'll hang out BBT after dark and have a good time. A reminder, Money Show Saturday. Come hang out with me. I'm literally going to be there all day. I'd love to say hi to anyone who's there. So just find me, come hang out, and it'll be a great time. So talk to everyone tomorrow. I'll see you all 11 to 12. Otherwise, much love. I hope you all have a great rest of your trading day. And as always, keep it green. Talk to you soon, people. Bye.